Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today. We are excited, of course, for another wild, crazy, insane. This is a speed demon episode
For sure.
because it's a racer. So there you go. Episode of Crime and Sports. Crazy stuff. Program note very quickly. We're off next week.
Thank God.
No Crime and Sports next week.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, we're exhausted, and we had to cram a bunch, and we'll let you know what's going on. But it's not bad. You'll always get episodes. But we're taking a week off, which means, of course, that the one when we come back, as always, will be a doozy.
Terrific.
We're coming back with somebody famous, and the Scummy Awards are coming. The 2021 Scummy Awards will be on our first week back. What is that, like March 8th or something, whenever it'll be.
Yeah.
We'll have an episode, someone very famous, and the Scummy Awards. Buckle up for that. Before we get to that, quickly, if you haven't yet, please get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon. Give us 5 stars.
Right.
Why does it matter? We don't know.
Who cares?
It's not our system, but it helps. It helps. If you like the show, that's how you can do it. It's free.
Yeah.
Takes you 2 seconds, and you can help drive us up the charts. So thank you for those of you who have done it. And if you haven't yet, no thank you. But if you're thinking about it, thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
And
also,
when you do it, thank you.
Thank you. And then also thank you. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything crime and sports that you could possibly want. All of your merchandise. Also, everything small town murder there. Anything you could want. Merchandise, stuff, dates for the future. You name it, it's on there. And if you haven't listened to Small Town Murder yet, you're not living life properly. You're screwing it up. If you like this show, I promise you'll like that show. Like we swear
I'm pretty good for that.
You'll like that show if you like this show, because it's this with replace the sports with a little murder, and it's what you got here. Yeah. So it's good stuff. Check it out. Listen to that. Also listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie, because I have to watch terrible movies. So make it worth my while by listening. Please, please. They're awful, these fucking movies. I've seen like 8 Katherine Heigl movies. I can't take it anymore. So it's good stuff, though. Check that out. Listen to all that and get with us. But most of all, get on Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/crime and sports. We are cooking on there, man.
Sure, yeah.
I'm telling you. The past one, hope you enjoyed the last Patreon episode, which was the worst wrestling characters of all time, which I had so much fun showing Jimmy all these terrible... Because he's
fun to learn.
You, how many times you're looking at me like, that's not real. You just made that's like a costume from Party City, and you put it up there.
I loved wrestling, and the thing about wrestling is that you don't get to know all the dumb shit because they don't showcase that to you,
and you don't remember it. Your mind filters that out.
They showcase the good stuff.
Yeah, your mind filters the shit out if you liked it. If you hated it, you'd only remember the shit. So, and also our next Patreon for Crime and Sports is on the incredible story of Danny Almonte. If you don't know who that was, if you remember a while back, he was the kid who in the Little League World Series, a pitcher who was blowing everybody away, 15 strikeouts a game. And
great 11-year-old.
Showing everybody, great 11-year-old. Problem was he was not 11. He was certainly not 11. They're like, he throws like a kid that's much older. Yeah, reason for that, because he is. And it was a big, giant scandal, and we'll see how that worked out. It's a crazy-ass story. Check that out.
Great.
On Small Town Murder, we had the Old West murders last time, which murders from the Old West. We have a crazy one in Oregon for our next one, a crazy, crazy murder case.
Terrific.
You get access to all of that at patreon.com/crime and sports with one donation.
Yeah.
You get it all, and you're a producer, and Jimmy will mispronounce your name at the end of the show. So what more could you want than that? Or if you just want to have great karma, also be a producer and get your name mispronounced, and just feel like a good person, you can do that too over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
Right.
Do that up. That said,
let's do it.
Let's go, Jimmy. Yeah. Let's get on this.
Put this thing in gear,
Let's
James.
get it in gear.
Really burn the rubber.
Let's burn the rubber. Step on it. Let's drop the clutch.
Shot. Yeah.
Let's do it. Scott Allen Tucker is his name. Scott Tucker. Ever hear of him?
No.
Shit, no. You haven't. But the funniest thing about this, you've never heard of him.
No.
I never heard of him. No. Even racing fans. He's a race car driver. You've probably never heard of him. But the fucked up part is...
Yeah.
He is maybe our most prolific criminal yet.
Oh.
Almost 250 episodes of Small Town Murder. We've never had someone that ends up in this particular situation that he does.
He's the worst.
His crimes affected the most amount of people of all the other crime and sports put together. Put together.
Great. Not great.
He might be the biggest non-child molesting scumbag that we have.
Unbelievable.
So let's do it here. I think he is, actually. And he gives a couple of them a run for their money, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, it's hard to do.
Sure.
When I tell you about it, you're going to go, oh, my God. Yeah, it's fucking
all right.
Tomato here. Born May 5th, 1962. He grows up in Kansas City, Missouri.
All right.
Big deal, right? Yeah. Kansas City is a weird town, by the way. Very
Missouri or Kansas?
Missouri.
Yeah.
Either way, Kansas City's an odd town. Nice people, but a very... Visually, it's an odd town. It's a strange town to look at because you're like, is this the part where there's nothing here, but then there's stuff here?
It's very bizarre to have
pockets of empty in the middle of a weird. It's a strange city.
There's a nice area and then a shitty area on the other side of a bridge, very much like San Francisco and Oakland. Too.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
It's kind of like
to
that,
have that and be in the fucking center of the country.
It's a strange place.
It's a very weird area.
Great people there. Yeah. They were cool as fuck. Those people. We love those people in Kansas City. So he went to Rockhurst High School. Apparently a local Kansas City high school. He studies business administration, going to school at Kansas State University. Okay. He's married. He's married to a woman named Kim.
Yep.
They have 2 daughters together. And so that's about most of his legitimacy right there. We've just talked about it. He went to school and he had a child. That's probably his sperm made. Outside of that, it's all bullshit and smoke and mirrors. So growing up there, he graduated from, like we said, Rockhurst High School. He only went to school for 2 years at Kansas State studying business administration. He also had some problems legally, we'll say here. In April of 1988, he was 26 years old.
Yeah.
He borrowed $50,000 from the American Bank of Kansas City, offering a new Porsche as collateral.
That he had. He's got a new Porsche.
Doing pretty well for himself. Cars are his thing.
He's taking out a title loan from the bank?
Apparently, as offering, I don't know, he had a new Porsche that he apparently had paid off. That's, wow, good for you. What do you need $50,000 for?
Right.
You should have bought whatever you needed for $50,000 instead of a Porsche, stupid.
Right. You're either doing great or you're looking for money. You're a dummy.
Or you're fucking up. You're buying
doing
the
it
wrong
backward.
things. Yeah. You should buy a shitty car and whatever you need that $50,000 for. He lied on the application. He had actually sold the car months earlier. Never had the car to offer as collateral.
Okay.
So it's a lie on the application, which is a crime, obviously. A year later, he wrote a bad check for $1,200 to a moving company hired to transfer 2 loads of used furniture for a business.
Okay.
So he writes a bad check there. In the meantime, while he's doing that, he also participates in a bogus loan scheme to bilk money out of businesses.
So already he's crooked as shit.
He's crooked as fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, any loophole where he finds a way where he can make a couple of bucks in a crooked right from writing a bad check to the moving company.
Yeah.
He's the type of guy who does like the George Costanza thing where he sends the check but forgets to sign it. Like he's one of those guys. Oh, I'm sorry. That'll buy me an extra 2 days. One of those guys, Genius. So he's participating in that. He's a partner in an Oregon ran newspaper and magazine ads, I guess. He's got this business that does that.
Ken Tucker?
Scott Tucker. Scott Tucker.
Okay.
Ads throughout. They offer commercial loans, and Scott posed as the president of it's not a high-powered bank, but he poses like it's a high-powered bank in Overland Park, Kansas there, called, listen to the fucking name of this, Jimmy.
That he chose
for this, Chase, Morgan, Stearns, and Lloyd.
Oh, my God.
What does that sound like, Jimmy?
Yeah, sounds a lot like a very high-profile bank.
Sounds a lot like J.P. Morgan Chase.
Right.
Fucking Stearns was in a bit. That's all in there.
Right.
These are all bank names that he just crammed into one fucking thing and was like, see?
I thought you were going to say it was called a very high-powered bank.
It's a very important high-powered bank. Very legitimate high-powered bank. That's what it's called.
So he picked Chase, Morgan, Stearns.
And Lloyd. Yeah. Chase, Morgan, Stearns, which are, like I said, all bank names. Like it's like Lloyd's of London. He picked that. Like all these different
Crammed them all together, right.
and crammed all these legitimate company names in at once. So you'll hear all those and go, all of those words mean legitimate to you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's literally psychologically what he's trying to do, which, what a fucking asshole. So he's posing as the president of this whole deal. Operation is a fraud, though.
Yeah.
Whole thing's a fraud. He collects more than $100,000 in advance fees from at least 15 borrowers and never provides any loans.
Wow.
So he just takes the money for the fee and then just says, later.
Gotta run.
Doesn't give you shit.
Unbelievable.
So that's pretty hilarious, but he made $100,000. Not hilarious to the people he does it to, obviously, but it's not even like a little flim flam where you don't get quite what you want. You just get nothing.
Yeah.
You just give him money and then he doesn't do the thing that he's contracted to do. Straight stealing. That's not even a scam. That's just thievery.
Right.
It's just I stole.
It's just give me this and I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You gave me this, now I run.
Now I don't give you shit.
Ha ha.
Ha ha. Nah, crawfish got fucked in the ass.
Yeah.
As they
that
would
is
say
certainly
in
crawfish.
Tombstone. That's crawfishing right there. So we looked it up.
He drilled the devil right in the ass.
Right in the ass. Full disclosure, we looked that up earlier.
So I was like, why do they call it crawfish?
Yeah, because we were
make sense.
just doing Tombstone lines here because that's what we do.
Because they said crawfish twice in that movie with zero explanation.
That means something.
They gave us nothing at what the definition of that is.
Urban Dictionary Chiron on the bottom of the screen to come up. By the way, in the 1800s, crawfish.
Pause and let Val come up and go, well, to be honest with you,
you want
guys.
like pop-up video here out of this pop-up Tombstone?
A little narration would do.
I would love to watch Tombstone with little and little pop-up.
Pause the movie with the little talking head telling us what's happening.
Yeah. Not even a talking head, just a little bloop, like pop-up video. You
Just
read
a
it
little
as
blur.
it's going. Bloop.
Crawfish means. And for those of you that are thinking, are you going to tell us what it means or do I have to Google this? No.
You
Google it.
You can fucking Google it like we did. Because we Googled it like assholes.
It's a pain in the ass to find unless you go to Urban Dictionary.
It really is. So he's been a criminal. Mm-hmm. This is no sports yet, by the way.
No,
he has not.
Just a crawfish and criminal.
Crawfish and criminal. Did you hear anything about athletics?
Nothing.
Did you hear he was an All-American?
No.
He played on the team.
It's all bank swindling.
This is not an intro that we ever have for any of our athletes. It's always he played here, that he started sports at this time.
Right.
And, he's either good at 12 or 17. That's different. But otherwise, at some point, there's sports.
No.
Nope.
He's an adult and a piece of shit at that.
Nope. He's just an adult committing white-collar crimes. An adult with a 2 years of college committing white-collar crimes.
What a dick.
Yeah, which is 2 years more than me, so I'm not talking shit. Don't get me wrong. So, in 1991, he ends up being convicted of 3 felonies out of this, which seems like a lot. It's mail fraud and also making false statements to a bank. And one of the charges stemmed from the company, the Chase, Morgan, Stearns, and Lloyd, where he that charged businesses the advanced fee for loans that were never delivered. But that sounds so official. Sounds very official. He is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off 1 year at Leavenworth Federal Prison.
I mean, it's a bad place to be.
Not a good place to be.
It's one of the worst in the country.
A year is, he got lucky.
A year?
A year. Wow. But Leavenworth is, that's not fun.
It's a tough,
I found the newspaper article for this, too. It's great because they go into a little more detail, and the title is Posing as a Broker, He Collected Thousands in Advanced Fees. They call him, here he is, 28-year-old Scott. He's 28 while he's doing this. He's already 28.
Almost 30.
They'd be well past grace in any other episode.
Yeah.
Scott Allen Tucker operated under the name Chase, Morgan, Stearns, and Lloyd. He told U.S. District Judge that he placed advertisements in the New York Times. So he tried to really make it legit. If you see an ad in the New York Times and hear all those names, that sounds legit.
Sure.
He said, and represented that the company was owned by Chase Manhattan Bank, which was Chase at the time, Lloyd's of London, and J.P. Morgan. That was what he was trying to put across.
How did the Times
wasn't
not
it J.P.
sniff that
Morgan
out?
Stearns
Right.
back then?
Yep.
Yeah, so he just knew all those things. I knew it was Lloyd's of London is what he was trying
How
to do.
did he do that? With the Times.
It's so ridiculous.
Do they need advertisements that bad that they just don't sniff it out?
Newspapers run on ads, but I mean, I guess do they not vet? I guess they don't vet the ads.
Yeah.
I guess you don't vet it. If you have enough money to put an ad in the New York Times, they go, it must be legit.
But when you get a personal check from a guy in payment of the ad for Morgan Stearns, Stanley, JP,
and
Wells Fargo.
He's got a check with ice cream cones on it, and it says Scott Tucker on the top, and you're like, hold on a second.
From First National.
Yeah,
Don't you fucking think?
This isn't that.
Damn it. Don't you think that all those banks together could finance their own fucking advertisement?
Imagine, right? They don't have to come together to have a program
hire
alone.
Scott to take care of it.
Scott's going to do it.
Scott will cover the fee on this ad.
They forgot to give Scott the checkbook to cover it for the.
So he's got to take it out of his own. We'll reimburse him.
He gets reimbursed.
We're good for it.
When he says, "Can I get a receipt for that?" I need to. They're going to I gotta. That's how they reimburse me.
I got to bring it back to Stearns.
No shit. Old man Stearns is going to be pissed. Wait till you see that shit.
That Lloyd guy is a real dick.
He's pissed, and his accent's so thick I can barely understand him. He's like Cockney London. It's a pissed off
British guy is not a guy you want to answer
to. Not good. He's angry.
Give me the receipt.
Please. I need to have this documented.
Fucking unbelievable.
So he did most of his business by telephone, and he told the judge that he exaggerated his contacts with those financial institutions. So exaggerated, meaning he said he had any contacts at all. That's exaggerating.
Exaggerating and fucking inventing.
Yeah, and just lying. You're just lying at that point.
It's not exaggerating anything. There is no relationship to exaggerate.
No. Here's exaggerating.
Yeah.
I'm a really great basketball player. I'm great. Yeah. I'm amazing.
Yeah.
Here's a lie. I played in the NBA for 3 years. Those are two. That's exaggeration and a lie. Right? Those are very different things. Very different things.
My peach tree grows enormous peaches. I can make a pie with one peach.
With one peach. I can also make a telephone call with that peach. It gets Wi-Fi.
There's the lie.
That's a lie. Because you could make a tiny pie,
right.
I guess.
Yeah. That's a whole pie.
I doubt it'll get Wi-Fi. Is my point. So yeah. It's a fucking lie.
Unbelievable.
If I'm the judge, I'd be hearing that. I'd hear his whole thing, and I go, let's back up to exaggerated. Right. I'd like you to switch that to lied, please. Now, I want to hear you say that, because that's
more. Yeah,
you did more.
That's more accurate.
He said that he had contact. He had a contact who claimed to have ties with those institutions. Mm-hmm. That's what he told the judge. Like, well, I thought I really was hooked up with those people.
Because I know a guy that lied to me.
I know a guy who lied to me about being in tight with 3 different. Completely disparate businesses
who he told me were a conglomerate. Making a monopoly around the world.
You know how it is. Is Lloyd's of London a bank, or is it strictly insurance?
I don't know.
I know they do like the high dollar insurance things. Like the wrestlers all had $1 million Lloyd's of London policies, and like all of like the PR shit, like, you know, somebody getting their legs insured for a $10 million. That's through Lloyd's of London.
It could be a bank that like is self-insured too. You know what I mean?
Possibly,
that just is so big with insurance that they just.
We've kept much gold in our coffers for years.
Banks and insurance companies are the same thing. They are just a giant Ponzi scheme.
Holding money.
They're all bullshit.
Yeah, they're holding your money.
And it sucks that we have to use all of them.
It's true, we do.
It's dumb. It's just a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
You put $5,000 in the bank in a savings account, they're going to loan that shit out and charge somebody else interest.
Yeah. Oh,
and that interest is for them. They'll put the $5,000 back in your account.
And you get a drop of that, but not much.
It's dumb.
You get a tiny cut.
It's all
of
bullshit.
It. No, it's all. I mean, it's the same thing. If you were selling drugs, it would be the same principle. It's
robbing Peter.
You
pay
get
Paul.
this, you get a piece, and then you go, yeah.
Fucking Fonzie.
It's all that. You front me the shit, and then I'll sell it to them, and then I'll get the money back, and I'll give you a piece on the interest over what you paid, and because you lent it to me, and then
it's dumb.
It's all points and vig.
Bastards.
Fucking scumbags. So that's so funny. He claimed to have ties. That's
unbelievable.
I know Lloyd,
right?
Personally. Fucking jackass. So he then also said that he spent about $15,000 he received in advance fees. The assistant U.S. attorney here, Matt Whitworth, said the government estimated the total collected by Tucker was $575,000.
That's a lot.
That's a shitload of money.
My word.
Yeah, that's a fuckload, man. Tucker also pleads guilty to making a false statement in April of 1988 to American Bank of Kansas American Bank of Kansas City to obtain the $50,000 loan that he put his car up for. It was an '87 Porsche that he sold 3 months earlier, but he gave the bank a duplicate title for the car.
Asshole.
He just had a copy and was like, "Here you go,
somebody else's car,
all yours, Chief." Yeah. So 1 year in Leavenworth for all this, which I mean.
It's not an easy bid to do.
No, you would think like a guy like this, who's like he's not a tough guy or anything. He's a pussy. So you figure I'm going to send him to prison for a year, and it's going to break him, and he's going to come out, selling insurance over the phone legitimately and just shutting the fuck up and, getting a wife that he can't stand and having a couple kids in a mediocre car, and he can go on with his life because this is bullshit.
With a bullshit thought that he's going to work up the ladder that ends up being 2 rungs.
There you go. And then you're done with assistant manager. So he gets out of prison June 8th, 1992.
Okay.
So fresh start.
Yeah.
Guy doesn't want to be in prison here. He ends up going into the short-term lending business. By the way, short-term loans have a different name called payday loans.
Yeah.
And if you're not from the U.S., I don't know if they do this in other countries. I assume it's outlawed. I assume
it sure in the fuck should be.
Straight loan sharking is outlawed in other countries, civilized countries anyway. This is exactly what guys did on the street and went to fucking jail for. Yeah. Exactly. Except these are worse. They're worse. Because the guy in the street can't take your fucking house.
Right.
He can break your legs, but he can't ruin your credit and, fuck so you can't put your kids through college. It's a different thing.
They should be illegal because it takes people that are obviously unable to pay bills.
Yes.
And makes it worse.
It makes it much worse. Well, it's not even that. It's also that they say, "Oh, you're having this. It's a high interest type of thing." But then there's hidden shit that they're scamming you on. So it's one thing to present someone with a terrible deal, and they go, "I'll take that terrible deal." Well, I mean, there's a limit to that where we should be, where we have to protect people who don't know any better. But this isn't even that. This is, here's the deal. That's a shitty deal, but I guess I'll take it. And then you're like, haha, it's not even as shitty as you think. It's way worse.
It's way worse.
Way worse. You don't even know about that. So bad.
What it is we're going to give you $50. You're going to pay us back $75, and then you're going to reach your hand into this basket, and then you reach your hand in there, and you're like, "This is full of snakes."
It's full of snakes. Oh my God! Look at that. Jesus.
And 3 of them just bit me.
Oh, well, I mean, there was the thing that I promised. It's in there also.
Told you.
I mean, it is full of snakes too. But
I gave you the money.
I didn't say it wasn't going to be full of snakes.
Now go use that money for the doctor bill that you need.
I didn't say put your hand into this wonderfully snake-free basket, did I? No.
I said put your hand in there.
I just said put it in, you did.
And you did it.
So in 1997, he meets a guy here, a Philadelphia businessman named Charles Hallahan. Now, he offered... This is what Hallahan says. Hallahan will eventually... what this is from a future lawsuit against Tucker.
Okay.
So it tells you how that relationship is going to work out in the end.
It's going to sour a smidge.
Yeah. Now, Hallahan was already in the payday loan business.
Okay.
We should explain quickly, and we'll explain the whole thing, but just to quickly, because I have like a detailed thing of it here, but quickly, a payday loan, if you're not from this country, it is like a loan shark loan. But it's a short-term loan. So payday meaning like I'll get this loan and then I'll pay it back on payday. That's the general thing. Like
which is next Thursday.
I need this money before I get my paycheck. So whatever. So right away, that denotes and tells right away you're living paycheck to paycheck, which most people are, and
less than.
Yeah. So
this paycheck doesn't even cover me till next paycheck.
That's the thing. Yeah. Something came up and whatever. So you get this loan based on and the interest rate is absolutely ridiculous, and they're always very short terms. Like 3 weeks is a long term thing. It's all these short term things, and even in that couple weeks, it's like an enormous interest rate. And then if you're a day late, it's like
there's a late fee, and then more interest,
and you'll end up paying back 10 times what you borrowed.
Right.
It's ridiculous. So this guy here, they're in the payday loan business. This guy kind of taught Scott Tucker how the payday business works, how this whole thing works. He viewed Tucker as a protege, and decided to bankroll him in a payday lending company, basically. Like, okay, you do it. I'll be the money guy, and we'll see how you run. So he makes Tucker president of the company.
Wow.
And lets him run it from Overland Park in Kansas. Now, Tucker agreed in writing not to open any competing businesses at the time with Hal. Because, I mean, if he could be... This guy owns 50%, so he could be working with him where he knows what to do. Then he opens his own and fucks this business over, and this guy can...
Undercuts of this business.
Exactly.
You know the rates and everything.
Yeah, exactly. And this guy can go fuck himself. So in writing, not to open any competing businesses. Interesting. So this is September 19th, 1997. Hallahan agrees to loan Tucker $500,000.
Okay.
So it's a lump sum. That's a lot. That's not 50. That's a lot.
Right.
That's 500.
That's a $500,000.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So Tucker signed the revolving loan note. A month later, Tucker filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy.
You just had $500,000.
He just gave you $500,000. How are you fucking bankrupt at this point? In the bankruptcy records, he did not disclose his new business as president of a payday lending company. He did, however, list his total debt at more than $583,000, including more than $220,000 owed to the IRS.
Oh.
Which is not people you want. You'd rather owe fucking American Express.
Right.
They'll come after you with hitmen, but again, they won't take all your shit and put you in jail. I'd rather have my legs broken than be put in jail. That's what I mean.
And then when you
So
get out
worse.
of jail, you're going to have the worst credit possible because it's
Your
the
life is
fucking
fucked anyway.
IRS.
You're better off with a loan shark.
And you
really are.
Yeah.
A loan shark will hurt you, but unless you owe, and even then, they're not going to kill you.
No.
They want
their money.
They want their money, and
Right.
they can just have you trying to get the money eventually forever. So
Whether you're limping through it or not.
they don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, they want their money. These people, they'll take your shit. They'll die. Who knows? So this is a lot. And you go to jail if you owe the IRS. You don't want to fucking owe them.
No.
So the court cleared Tucker of his debts. All right? Through bankruptcy.
Wiped them all away.
Wiped it all away. Now, Tucker had promised Hallahan he would not open any competing businesses. But in 2001, he does.
Yes, he
of
does.
course. He opens. He calls it CLK Management. Now, and he lists himself as the owner.
Of course.
All of his companies are Mercedes brand titles.
Stop that.
CLK.
Models? Really?
Later on, he has AMG Services.
He's got all Mercedes.
They're Mercedes
Body.
names. Yeah, I
Style,
saw
yeah.
AMG Services. I'm like,
Models.
AMG like the cars. Okay. And then I saw CLK Management. I'm like, isn't there a CLK Mercedes?
There is, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that like in front of me in
Yeah.
Scottsdale or something, like the thing. I'm like, there's a, yeah. And I looked it up. I'm like, he just writes fucking Mercedes names. What a douche. So he's the owner of CLK Management. And after this, he starts setting up dummy companies. Okay, this is he learned from somebody.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he learned from somebody in Leavenworth, probably,
Right.
how to do shit like this, like what to do, how not to get caught.
Yeah.
Probably found some other white collar guys, and they were like, "What did you do? Oh, dude,
that was
that's not how you
dumb.
do it.
You gotta have shadow companies.
Yeah, start up dummy companies, stupid."
Do
So
it like car models because then nobody
yeah.
can ever track that.
they don't know. It'll
CLK, it sounds like people's initials, but what it really is a car.
is a car. It's not Scott Tucker though. They won't come after you. Maybe they'll go after Mercedes.
So you can look for Mr. CLK.
Mr. C, I'm looking for CLK. He sets up dummy companies in Carson City, Nevada, which should have set it off right there. No one's no one's doing anything in Carson City, Nevada.
What is it, 1812?
Yeah, Carson City. Where are we? I mean, yeah, and no one's gone to Carson City in a while. Even in Reno 911, it's like Carson City is like,
That's how they do that down in Carson City.
it's out there.
Right.
Yeah, I know it's the capital of the state,
Right.
but I think they made that decision well before they realized how things were going to develop out. Because
It's because the rest of the state was all the blast zone.
that's what it was. Yeah, like right here, there's no radiation at
here.
the moment, at the very moment. And also, I guess Reno and Vegas are just pure trashy dirt.
And
so you can't
Laughlin?
make them the
Where else is there?
Laughlin.
There's only 4 cities there, right?
We know Laughlin is the worst city in
oh boy.
America.
It is, yeah.
Laughlin is like Atlantic City with hepatitis. Yeah. That's the best way to describe it. It's Atlantic City floated down a river on a tube, a dirty mud river on a tube, and picked up hepatitis. Got out, got on its Harley, and went to a $12 a night casino hotel
on a boat.
On a boat with their Harley behind them. Yeah. That's what. But it's like an old Harley, not like even a cool one. It's like a shit one, like not an old, like a big giant, like an old fart Harley. That's who these people are. It's just
what it really is a Yamaha. I call it a Harley. I call it a Harley Davidson.
It's Harley Davidson. Let me tell you something, brother. That's hilarious. The Harley Davidson.
I done chopped the shit out of it to make it resemble a Harley.
That's
and then took all those Yama Dog badges off of it.
I took it right off of there. Nobody needs to see that. Painted up now.
Anybody that doesn't know shit about motorcycles calls it my Harley.
That's Laughlin, though. It's the grossest place ever.
It really is. Yeah.
And they're like, but you can get a jet ski.
Yeah.
Great. Terrific. Getting a jet ski on a dirty river. Great.
And see, this here's a jet ski that I welded to a canoe. I call it a canoe.
Jet canoe. It's a canoe ski. People think it's Polish, but it ain't. It's just something I made up. It's a canoe ski.
And you can just sit on the jet ski and steer it because it's where the jet is.
That's cool. Someone behind you.
I didn't even modify the jet ski. I just welded it into the hull because I need the intake and all that.
Now, watch out, people. You might dump your passengers, so you might want to look back every once in a while, make sure they ain't drowned.
There's no propeller, so it's safe if anybody's behind you. Right. Won't hurt nobody.
Won't hurt nothing.
Just water.
That's what we're talking about. That's who goes to Laughlin.
Yeah.
And I assume Carson City is worse because there's not even water. So maybe there is. I don't know.
Who knows?
So he used these companies as mail drops for payday lenders he called Cash Advance, Preferred Cash Loans, and United Cash Loans. Those are his companies.
Either way, it's scummy.
Either way, bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Bunch of bullshit. Now, this is in 2001. He also founds an online business called AMG Services.
Yep.
He's got CLK, he's got AMG. They made payday loans even in states where the high interest, low principal loans were restricted or illegal. They did it anyway. And how he did it was very interesting. He did it by basically setting up, pretending that he was a tribal company and setting up on Indian reservations because they're not
governed by that.
They're not governed by that. So they pretended like they were a tribal company that was doing it outside of U.S. law.
Like he's in international waters.
Way.
What a scumbag.
But nobody involved is involved with the tribe. They made up tribes.
Right.
They literally just made up tribes and were like, we're the Shangawunga tribe. And our whole tribe, our history, really, our ancestors is based on lending other tribes large amounts of things and then wanting even larger amounts of things back. That's what we're based upon.
Go talk to Chief G-Wagon.
Yeah, go try. Chief E-Series over here would like to discuss something with you. So it's a fucking disaster. So this business generates from 2008 to June 2013.
Oh boy.
Okay, just to give you the scope of what we're going to talk about. The business generates over $3.5 billion.
Holy.
With a B, dollars.
Illegal billion.
Billion.
Wow.
3.5 billion. We've never had anybody even close to that on our show. We've had people rob,
Why don't we know about this fucking
$50 or something, but he made loans to, you want to know how many fucking people he made loans to? This company made loans to? This is why I said it's never affected. And I'll say, you destroy someone's life if you do something horrible to them, you murder them, you molest them, you do all of this. But no one has had this great of an impact. He made loans to at least 4.5 million Americans.
Holy shit.
He fucking robbed 4.5 million. Wow. That is more than 1% of the population has been robbed by this man.
All you have to do
is
take, $200 from each of those people That's $800 million. Holy shit. How many billion?
$3.5 billion. And I remember those company names.
Yeah.
I remember seeing those things around
AMG
too.
and shit like that?
The cash advance.
Yeah.
Preferred cash loans. Those are all fucking companies.
Preferred cash loan. Yeah, that feels
everywhere.
Like a podcast advertisement.
It really does. Hey, preferred cash loans.
Hey, Jimmy and James here for preferred cash loans.
See a little behind this month on the bills
this week.
Who doesn't come up short from month to month?
Who among us?
Well, I'll tell you what, we have for you preferred cash loans or cash advance or United Cash Loans. Only 7,000% interest, and that's if you pay it back in 2 weeks. You can't go wrong, folks.
That's terrific. Get you out of hot water, and now back to the show.
And now back to the show.
Fucking hell.
4.5 million people
That is a lot.
It's over 1% of the United States population. Over 1%.
Wow.
That's fucked. Do you know how few he fucked over more people than there are trans people in this entire country.
Yeah.
He fucked over more people than there are. Think about the groups that there are less than 4.5 million of.
He would have had to have robbed more people than the city of Seattle.
Way more.
4 Seattles.
4 Seattle's worth of people.
That's a lot of people.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Evil. That's too many.
Bonkers,
He
dude.
robbed the people of Wyoming 40,000 times over.
I was going to say 9 times over, basically, he robbed Wyoming.
Wow. 9 Wyomings. This man
fucking robbed at $3.5 billion. So he's the CEO of AMG Services. It was founded, this company, to charge undisclosed and inflated fees and use tribal entities in an attempt to violate state laws without being caught.
He had to panic like the guys in Office Space when they woke up the next day. When he saw how much money was rolling, he had to be like, where do I put it? What do I do?
It's working. Oh, God.
Somebody jam it in my ass.
It's working too well. It's working too well.
We got to hide it.
I never understand the computer guys, by the way, doing shit, because I get it in this way. Like, when you do it, this is why I think people do it, because in a computer crime, there's going to be a trail.
Yeah.
There's always a trail. You always get caught.
There's always a code somewhere.
Someone's always going to catch up to you.
Comes back to you.
Get it back to you. Always happens.
Absolutely.
But when you do it, there's zero chance to get arrested right that minute.
Right there.
When you make a keystroke that does something illegal, cops don't burst in the door and arrest you.
There's no alarm.
No, it's not like if you rob a bank, you could be taken right there.
As soon as the vault opens, there's alarms everywhere.
You're safe. You're just pushing it off till later. So you know you're going to get busted, but it's like, well, not right now. So psychologically, people are okay with that. It's fucking weird. Very weird. So this is just an overview. This is a bit from Bloomberg, and we have a lot from this big article in Bloomberg about this. They really went up this guy's ass with a microscope. Bloomberg.com here. This is about how the whole family is here. They say, quote, Scott, the oldest, was the brains. He'd served time in prison for a scam where he pretended to work with J.P. Morgan and Chase. Joel, who's his brother, tall and handsome, was a natural salesman. But when he was 21, he was selling furniture and working at a mini mart, so hard up that he got arrested for bouncing a $12 check.
Oh, my.
That case was dismissed because it's $12.
And he's handsome.
I'm sure he paid it. Yeah, and paid the $12. By the mid-'90s, Scott opens up his payday loan company and gave his brothers jobs. Now he's dragging his brothers into this, too. Lending money to people who don't have any is a lot. It's a lot. You make a lot of money, basically. Sure. Scott pioneered what he thought was a clever legal loophole that would give him access to the market. He created websites that were owned on paper by an American Indian tribe, which could claim sovereign immunity from regulators, trying to say you can't rob people blind. So, starting in 2004, he registered new trade names for payday lenders, including AmeriLoan, United Cash Loans, U.S. Fast Cash, 500 Fast Cash, One Click Cash.
He's good at the names.
He's fucking good.
They sound so legit, man.
They sound legit, and it's just people need money, and that's what it works. Court documents will show later on that by 2005, Tucker had actually by that point teamed up with Indian tribes, actually reeled them into this, continuing to run the payday lenders, though, out of Overland Park. It's just all on paper through the tribe. It's not actually on a fucking reservation.
Right.
So CLK Management was becoming a huge business here at this time. By 2006, it took up 2 floors of an office complex in Overland Park and eventually employed 400 people.
Oh, my God.
Holy shit.
Oh, my God.
That's a big office, man. Yeah. 400 people?
That's enough people where they don't know that this is all fraudulent.
No, they don't know.
They have no idea. They're just doing their job.
There's like 2 people who know it's fraudulent. No, this is fucking Jonestown.
Yeah.
There's like 2 people who know what it is, and everyone else is like, we're feeding the poor. Isn't this wonderful?
We're doing amazing work.
Oh, we're hopefully, man, we got to get those black people equality.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to fuck your daughter.
Right.
And your son.
And your wife's face.
And take all your property. And your wife's face. I'm going to start with your wife's face, I think.
And you know what? I've exhausted myself with those. I want you.
How about you? Yeah.
Bend it on over, mister.
Tell people.
Yeah.
He used to go, I'll fuck you in the ass if you want.
Oh, my God.
That's what he would, if you want me to. And they'd go, that's okay.
Yeah.
And he'd go, well, offer's over there if you ever want me to.
Offer's on the table.
All right.
What?
And they just look, thanks. I guess you just say thanks. Appreciate it.
You're not going to believe it, but Jim has blessed me with the opportunity for him to fuck my ass.
He said he said if I wanted him to.
If I want it.
He'd fuck me in the ass.
I think I want it.
You know what? The way he put it makes me kind of want it. I don't know what it is. I don't want it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want things in my body.
I would have never wanted that.
I don't want it, but the way he said it made me feel like I should want it.
He led me to the cliff, and I've seen those videos on YouTube with those guys in the squirrel suits, and they jump and they can fly.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I just let him, it'll feel like I'm flying.
I feel like I'm going to fly. I'm going to soar through the air.
Like a flying squirrel.
Like a flying squirrel with a sore butthole.
Flying squirrel with Jim Jones deep inside me.
Somebody please draw a flying squirrel with Jim Jones in his ass on top. You don't have to be graphic in his ass, but just attached to him from the back, like a tandem skydive.
Yeah, we'll know.
We'll know what it is, except it's a flying squirrel with Jim Jones behind him. But give Jim Jones a look like he's satisfied.
In ecstasy. And the guy on the bottom, utterly horrified because he's the one.
Big squirrel eyes.
Inside. Oh my God, it hurts more than I thought.
Yeah, big squirrel eyes. Oh God. That's what we like. We have some artists out there that draw stuff. Yeah. Please draw us that.
Get into that.
That's what we really want to see. So, I don't know why, but I really do. Jesus.
Oh, boy. We're dirtbags.
We are. What do you want from us? That's how we were raised. So it eventually employs 400 people. One of its websites claimed it was making thousands of loans each day, which, I mean, to get to 4.5 million people, you kind of have to.
You better.
You better. One former employee worked there at the time swore in a court statement later on that the business was using addresses on tribal land for protection, because they noticed that, like, why is our address not our address? And they were like, oh, that protects us from...
That's corporate office.
Yeah, it's corporate. It protects us from certain like overbearing regulations.
Right.
And they'd be like, fucking government. Fucking government saying you can't even rob people blind. Fucking ridiculous.
Oh, boy.
So William James said no one was allowed to reveal where the company was actually located. That's what on the phone. That was one of the things. Well, where is your physical location? I can't tell you.
We can't disclose that information.
It's on. Here's our corporate address.
Do you know what we'd do? We'd loan money to people that are...
we'd get murdered.
Oh, boy. We would be murked tomorrow.
People just, one by one, they'd take turns as we came out afterwards in the parking lot.
They used their payday loan to buy a gun.
To murder us all, yeah. That's what they did. And then he said that this guy, William James, said Scott Tucker once said, quote, "They don't touch us on Indian reservations. Mm-hmm. We're golden.
Yeah.
We're like a casino on there." Now, 2006, have you noticed there's no sports yet?
Nothing.
We're doing like it's a crime in business.
Yeah.
No, it's 2006 where he decides, I have so much fucking money.
Yeah.
Because he's making money hand over fist.
I gotta empty it
He's just
somewhere.
robbing people. Yeah. So he's like, I'm going to do something for me.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to do something fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something I want to do. I'm going to be a race car driver.
I've got a dream.
What kind of a 12-year-old makes tons of money and goes, I'm going to be a race car driver? What?
Yeah.
Why?
It's a job and a hobby.
Yeah.
Dare I say, that will cost you fuck tons of money.
It's a hobby
it's
for
smart.
99% of the people who do it. It's like stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Few people make money, and a bunch of people dump hundreds of thousands of dollars a year into some fucking car that gets them nothing.
Right.
That's how it would usually work. Now, I'm not saying NASCAR. I'm saying all those other races.
If you're David Letterman, it's millions.
Yeah. I know how, like, race teams, how much they cost for, like, a drag racing team, because Rod used to have one, and he said it was fucking obscene.
Yeah.
You're just constantly dumping money into these parts and all this shit. You don't make anything from it. It's not like it's a profitable business.
Right.
It's not like, I won that race. It's a $5 million prize.
No.
There's 300 people up there.
Right.
You're not, I don't even know if it's on ESPN anymore.
It used to be, and I used to love it.
I would watch it. He was on After Wrestling.
And then you're constantly, it's like having a piece of shit car. You're just dumping money into this vehicle that doesn't take you anywhere.
Goes nowhere.
The motor constantly has to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
You constantly have to put parts on this goddamn thing.
It's a disaster.
Tires are insane expensive.
Yeah, it's just constant.
And you're running new pairs every time.
And you employ like 8 people to do all this shit. It's too much.
You employ 8 people to lose you money.
Hey, go out there and dump my money. Pour it right in the fire, will you? Oh, let me pay you first so you can do that.
Hey, here's $3,000. Would you take that bucket of cash and pour it on the fire?
Please. Jesus Christ. So he takes some money and decides, I'm going to buy a race car and I'm going to drive it.
What kind of race car?
Now, well, we knew he was into cars because he had that old Porsche. His first one here looks like it's a Ferrari.
Okay.
Here's a picture of him, his actual
he's doing
Ferrari.
like Euro racing.
He's doing Euro, then later on he'll be doing like IndyCar racing.
Really?
So the open
wheel,
open cockpit type deal too. He does
He's
that.
doing like the Gran Turismo right now.
Kind of, yeah. It's like a street car with a big wing on the back, and it's a fucking awesome looking car.
Cool as shit.
A goddamn Ferrari.
It looks like it's in Cruising USA.
It does. It's a Ferrari Crawford GT.
Mm-hmm.
So he begins competing in the Rolex Sports Car Series in 2007.
I'm sure that's cheap to enter.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Rolex is a sponsor.
That's what I mean. No one's watched. Like, what's the profit on this? You're just doing this because you want to jerk off and you like it. If you're him, you're not a race car driver who's been doing this forever and knows what they're doing and can win races.
Sure.
He's in his 40s already. He's driving a Ferrari. And later on, a couple of years, he'll form a thing called Level 5 Motorsports.
Level 5 sounds, yeah.
Where he's got
it's words that all match.
That's what I mean. He knows how to brand shit. Guy Cosmo, who's a driver for the team, says that he worked for Level 5 for a while, and he shared driving duties with Tucker.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want to just own the team, Jimmy. He's going to drive the race car. Not just own it, drive it.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the kind of
absolute hubris.
This is the type of asshole that we're dealing with.
Fuck.
Right? I'm a race car driver. What other sport? Think about this.
Right.
And you can say what you want. I understand that driving for 500 laps without, having a piss or whatever is physically taxing. I get that. And it's very hard to concentrate driving and
the
not
bladder
crashing.
endurance is impressive.
But what other sport could you be in your mid-40s, have never participated in the sport ever, not even in high school, never participated in this sport, and then just make some money and go, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be a professional at it.
Hold on. Go further, James. I'm going to get into this sport, buy a team, and I'm going to be the fucking captain of it.
And play.
And do it.
Think about that.
Jerry
what
Jones
other sport could you do
as
that
the
with?
quarterback of the fucking Cowboys would be ridiculous.
I feel like coaching, which he kind of probably does. But other than that, it would be if he actually did, though. It was like, I'm going to coach it, too.
Well, this guy's driving. It'd be if Jerry's the wide receiver.
But the other thing, Jerry Jones played college football.
Okay.
Jerry Jones, he played on the same team with Jimmy Johnson. That's why they know each other so well. So at least he knows football.
Yeah.
He played in a Division 1A.
I feel like Mark Cuban being like, I'm the starting center now.
That's what exactly right. I bought the team. I'm very happy with it. By the way, I'm playing two guard. I really just think I've been practicing. I think I can drop threes on people. They're going to sleep on me.
Hang it up, Jason Kidd. I'm wearing that number.
I'm doing. Yeah, it's my number. Number one.
You're going to pick another one.
He's, go out there. They're going to sleep on me, man. They're not even going to see me out there. I'm dropping threes.
They're going to figure dopey, dumpy white guy can't do shit. Watch. MVP.
Computer guy, That's kind of what's going on here. Now, this guy said about Scott Tucker, quote, the guy was as committed as anyone I've ever seen outside of maybe some 16-year-old kid trying to make his way to F1. So they're saying he got in it and he was just immediately
balls to the wall,
guns blazing, wanted to make a name for himself, because he's in his 40s. So it's kind of...
Call me full throttle.
Yeah, he apparently they called him a quote gentleman driver. That means you made a shitload of money, and now you want to be a race car driver,
which is more a dig than it is a compliment, right?
It's exactly what it is. It means that you're just fucking around. You made money.
Right.
Yeah, Paul Newman was also a gentleman driver, as we know. He would do the same shit. I'm a race car driver now. We see this a lot with celebrities.
Say what you want about him. His dressing's great.
His dressing's good. Celebrities do this a lot.
Yeah.
We're like, now I'm a race car driver. Now I'm this. Now I'm that.
Good for you, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, Carolla all the time does that. Yeah, he's a race car driver.
Good for you, bud.
It's like, I get that you like cars.
Right.
But
it's fine.
Like I said, I like basketball.
I like cars too, man.
Yeah.
I love them.
You drive your car on the road. I'll shoot my hoops at the park, and everybody's happy.
And we go along.
That's it.
It's a fun drive at 40 miles an hour.
It is. It's great. Instead, this guy, though, no, he's going to dump shitloads of money into this here. Now, everybody knew this is the guy who worked for him. Everybody knew that he's very wealthy. And, everything like that. He said, though, quote, obviously there were rumblings about the nature of the business and all those things, but I really don't know anything about it. He's like, not my fucking concern. I work for the race team.
Right.
I'm not concerned with who's funding the race team.
Yeah.
Most of the race teams are funded by cocaine or some other crazy shit.
Who gives a shit as long as my check clears?
Yeah.
Right.
We've done racing things and how race speedboats and shit. It's all filthy
money. Yeah.
It's all people laundering their fucking money because it's a place where you dump money and burn it like it's
And it goes away.
It goes away. Drag racing would be another one of those. You just burn it. So I don't think that's what Rod realizes, that other people were just doing it to
to launder
money,
right.
and he was like, "This is fun. It's a different thing." He was genuine about the fucking shit.
He's very much like me.
Business. Yeah. If you gave you $35 million and some fame and a baseball
awesome.
career,
I'd love to have a top fuel dragster.
Wouldn't that be neat?
To get the fucking bill for it.
Oh my God!
Jesus, it's outrageous.
Holy shit!
How does John Force do it?
And then people were stealing from him too on there, so that they were selling the parts and shit. That's why is there so many parts? Oh,
it's amazing how expensive that motor is.
Wow, crazy. So Tucker, they said, spared no expense. He's got money, whatever he wants.
Billions of dollars.
He sets up immediately a multiple car, multiple class operation. So different cars at different classes, hires drivers, mechanics, top of the notch, top tier, top notch.
Yeah.
Top of everything, top cars.
Wow.
Everything he can buy, the best he can possibly buy. He competes in the United States and Europe. He'll go into the 24 hours of Le Mans in France at one point. Everything here. So that's what he's doing. He's racing and trying to really build up his ego.
Yeah.
Now, businesses, though, other people were A little mad at him, his own business partner for that matter. Remember the guy who bankrolled him is $500 million.
Where's that money at?
Chris Hallinan. He put up the cash to start that. For years, Tucker had called Hallinan each Saturday to give him an update on their company called National Money Service. Now, according to this lawsuit from Hallinan, Tucker acknowledged to Hallinan that he'd created a new company called CLK Management and that the Indian tribes were involved. That's the way he put it.
Right.
Now, Hallinan said Tucker led him to believe that CLK Management was just a part of their company and that in truth they still owned the payday loan business, which he had basically just put it in another shell with the tribes and said, now it's mine, and then yours is shit now to this other guy. So he basically just scammed this guy and took his money and moved it somewhere else to his own business where he doesn't have to give this guy a cut. Scumbag.
Yeah.
Now, by 2006, they said he wasn't calling anymore. It was just kind of an email here and there. Just drop an email.
Trail off of it.
Yeah, just kind of, Hallinan became suspicious and sent an accountant in May of 2008 to look at the books of their company, as he has the right to do. According to the lawsuit, the accountant discovered the company, quote, had essentially been ransacked and substantially of all its assets, cash, profits diverted.
Yeah.
So he fucking stole everything, basically. Right. So Hallinan accused Tucker of stealing the business by moving everything over to CLK Management. And so, but at this point, they were, he was saying in his documents, he did that, but it looks like from what I found, he's ready to move it to another company. So for now, it's CLK Management, but who knows?
Class is coming up.
Yeah, I might need to amend this later on here. So he does that. The lawsuit reveals some details about the relationship with the tribes as well. Hallinan alleged that Tucker had significant influence over the Indian tribes. He released a letter from Tucker that showed on July 31st, 2008, Tucker had completed a new management and power of attorney agreements with the tribes. And Tucker revealed a proposal as part of a settlement to share with Hallinan all money from the tribal accounts after an undisclosed amount was paid to the tribes, and the lawsuit was settled. So this guy was like, all right, fine, that's cool, as long as I get my money. So two companies working for the Modoc tribe revealed what the tribe gets paid from the payday loan lending business, basically. It's a class action lawsuit from borrowers in California.
Oh, shit.
Oh, boy. The company said the tribe received between 1% and 2% of revenues from the loans. That's not a lot, even though borrowers pay nearly 800% interest.
Holy shit.
800% interest
on like $400.
You would literally be way better off going to a mob loan shark.
Absolutely.
It's not 800% interest.
Oh my God.
No fucking gangster with a straight face would tell somebody this is an 800% interest loan. No gangster. No. And whatever they say is the truth. Too. They're not going to, their word has to mean something on the street. So this is fucking nuts.
And it's so
this
ridiculous.
Is legitimate business. This is crazy.
It's taking advantage of people in their worst need.
They're dire, and so you're going to fucking fine. I'm going to really fuck you for it. It's like gouging, gas prices. Like only gas station in the desert, it's $12 a gallon. Like, because you're the only one out here. It's that sort of thing. You're the only people who'll lend it to me. Wow. So 800%. No one from the tribe is even able to sign for several of the bank's tribe accounts, the tribe's bank accounts used for payday lending. In the same suit, U.S. Bank, that's a big bank, disclosed the only two people able to sign checks on 4 tribal accounts were Scott Tucker and his brother Blaine Tucker. Scott Tucker identifies himself on the accounts as the treasurer of the Modoc Tribes Corporation. An attorney for the tribe said that recently that Scott is no longer the company treasurer. The Miami and Santee Sioux tribes are still fighting a separate class action lawsuit to keep their financial details secret. They're trying to hide.
They don't want to talk.
No, they're making money and they don't want any part of this whole thing. It's a lot. Plus then you go into records and finances and it's a lot.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. So 2008, Scott debuts in the Rolex 24 at Daytona, driving a TRG Grand Am GT Porsche.
Wow.
Bitchin' car. Badass. In the Rolex series, driving with Ed Zabinski, Jack Baldwin, Martin Raginger, and Claudio Burton. The team finishes 28 28th in the class due to an engine failure in the 20th hour of the event. So,
really?
Yeah, 20 out of 24, the engine fucked up on him. So
no.
Not much you can do there. After the 24, Tucker enters Level 5 Motorsports into 3 additional races with Ed Zabinski in the Rolex Series. Now, 2009, he teamed up with French sports car driver Christophe Bouchet. Christophe Bouchet.
Guy whose last name sounds like bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
And earned a career best finish of 3rd at Watkins Glen.
Wow.
Here is
Watkins, that's
Watkins
a tough
Glen.
one, man.
Here's his team. That's him there.
Oh.
That's what I mean. You're not an athlete, sir.
No. What is this doughy fuck?
Him there?
Yeah.
Hi.
Just... What a dork.
Yeah, I'm a dork.
Yeah.
I'm lots of money, though. I get to hold the trophy because I paid for it.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Watkins Glen is like a twisty-turny one. That's
like
a tough one to win.
Real track. Yeah. Now, Tucker with his co-drivers, Richard Westbrook, Ryan Hunter-Rieu, and Lucas Luhr at Daytona also. Tucker drove both cars at Homestead Miami Speedway, teaming up with Bullshit in the number 55 car.
Great.
2010, he had a great year.
Yeah.
Racing. And he's making shitloads of money.
Tons of cash.
How often do we have a guy be a super big criminal till he's 45 and then we're like, no, he's an athlete.
Right.
Okay. This show is like, I don't even know. We've turned it inside out and then rolled it back up a different direction. Super weird. So he's so good, he wins Rookie of the Year honors.
Wow.
In the American Le Mans Series and the team championship in the same season. Not bad. So, Rookie of the Year.
He's
for
great.
anything. He's fucking 60 years old.
In his 40s.
Christ almighty, Rookie of the Year. Sorry, we're going to give you Rookie of the Year, but it's pretty silly, right? There's 18-year-olds involved in this.
The elderly Rook.
Yeah, hey, come here, Rook. So Gunnar Jeanette, who sounds like a race car driver.
Yeah, he does.
A driver in IMSA's WeatherTech Sports Car Championship Series.
Yeah.
Look at all of these racing series out there. Do you know of
never heard of the
how does
WeatherTech.
money come to them? We get sponsors.
Right.
Who's looking at the sponsors to even buy their shit? There's
Right.
nobody there.
And how is WeatherTech looking for a racing place to sponsor?
I don't know what's happening. Now, Gunnar Jeanette said he didn't like the manner that Tucker chose to win.
Oh, how'd he win? He pulled out his dick? What,
Yeah.
he pressed a little button that released nails?
He does, yeah. He's got a little oil slick button that comes out, and you go into the wall. Well, he says that he's not a cheater per se.
All right.
Gunnar says, quote, he cheated really well inside of the rules, which maybe says a lot about his character.
Rubbins racing, that kind of shit?
Little things.
Okay.
He adds that Tucker was a detail-oriented racer who found loopholes in the rules.
Okay.
He's a guy who looks, I'll go to the tribal land. He's always looking for
Loopholes are his
That's
favorite.
it.
Yeah.
For the first time in series history, he got them to allow him to get points in whichever car finished better. He fought because he had multiple cars, so he said that he, as a driver, could get the points
from the other team.
For whichever of his cars finished better
because it's his team.
Because
so he owns it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my car too.
It's mine too. Man.
What the fuck?
He said it was very difficult racing against him where he would drive 2 cars and basically if one car had an issue and the other car finished better, he would get points for that.
That's not fair.
He said as a driver it was tough because everybody else, it's like if you're fishing and you have 2 poles in the water,
right.
You got a better chance, period. That's
Whichever
it.
one's bigger is the one I caught.
Everybody else has, you have twice the chance as everybody else. He literally has 2 fucking cars, and he just switches in between them. Whichever one's doing better, that's him. So
I have 13 pounds of fish here, obviously.
Yeah, but you look great because you're getting the points for the highest finish each time. 13 pounds of fish. So the IMSA is sports car racing's major sanctioning body in the country, and its rules changed the following year about it. The lead engineer for Tucker's team was a guy named Jeff Braun. He said Tucker put together the closest thing to a dream team in sports car racing because he had enough money, just bought whoever he wants. Level 5 won in a controversial outcome at the 2014 24 Hours of Daytona. Okay. It's just too much Daytona, man.
That's a lot of Daytona.
See, who's watching that for 24? No one's sitting there for 24 hours.
Right. I don't even know that I want to be in Daytona for 24 hours.
Fuck no.
Let alone at a race for it.
Fuck Daytona. Fuck no. No. And fuck no. It's too much Daytona, man.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of Daytona.
It's an overdose of Daytona.
How long does it take to drive through Daytona quickly?
Not long.
There you go. That's how long I want to be in Daytona.
Probably 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably get out of Daytona that fast.
So that's in 2014. They win that, and it marks his quote unquote 100th victory in sports car racing.
He's 100?
100, him and his team.
Yeah.
So who knows how much of that he's raced.
Right.
But afterwards, the team was disbanded. He disbanded the team.
He just wanted 100 wins, and then he's leaving.
The Braun guy said he was disappointed. He says it was about the people. A lot of people think it was because of the money and all that stuff. It was the right people put together, and I mean from drivers down to the hospitality people, the truck drivers, the managers, and all of that. He's saying that the whole
but that's
team was
because you
good.
Can buy the best. It's not the same.
If you buy the best and everything.
Racing began because you raced against whatever you had, and then you slowly build your product better so that it's racing better. It's not just buy the fucking best thing out of the box.
He just buys it out of the box and buys the best people.
Right.
I want to buy this. This is the best drivers, the best mechanics, and all that. Yeah, that's
fair.
Yeah, he's like a guy who buys a sports team. And
gross.
I want the best quarterback. I just want him. I'll buy him. What's he want? How much money does he want?
Racing needs a salary cap.
Salary cap of these races is $50 probably. I don't know what they're making on this.
Whatever a tank of gas costs, that's your salary cap.
There he gets all we have. In 2010, he added the 4-time Champ Car World Series champion Sebastian Bourdais, Richard Westbrook, Sasha Masson, Lucas Lohr again, Ryan Hunter-Reay again, and Emmanuel Collard to his team for the 48th running of the Rolex 24 at Daytona. So he's got all these guys driving. Like, you're not even driving that much. The progress through the race was part of a documentary entitled Daytona Dream, his progress in here. The documentary was produced by Drive Digital Media, which was a company that Scott Tucker was an investor in. So he's making a documentary about himself.
And just burning more money.
Yes. By the way, this is featured on Dirty Money on Netflix.
Really?
This guy's on there.
Makes sense.
Is one of the... I didn't watch the episode because I wanted to do my own shit, but...
Yeah.
You never know. So
makes sense. Calling it the right thing.
Yeah.
Daytona Dream. He had a fucking dream and he needed to dump money. So this is perfect.
It's fucking dumping.
Yeah.
He just loves it. It's fun. He's got all this money. He competed in the American Le Mans series in 2010 along with the Rolex and all that sort of shit here. Tucker divides driving duties between the two different cars, of course. And along with a couple of his drivers there, he won the 12 Hours of Sebring in the LMPC category. I don't know what the fuck that is. The trio went on to win the 3 further races during the season as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing well. I mean, he's got all these good drivers. I feel like he jumps in at the end.
Yeah.
Like
Finishes
5 laps to go.
lap.
He's like, get on in. They're like 5 laps up. Then he just, the whole time, like his arm out the window, like waving. Yeah, we did it. He is named, though, their team is, I guess, American Le Mans Series Rookie of the Year. Wow. So look at him. He moved to the LMP2 category, oh my, for 2011, and they obtained new Lola Honda prototypes. Now, you know what those are?
Hondas? The
Lola Hondas.
Is that the open wheel little ones?
Yeah, they call those, they're like the little open wheel race cars, the little they had them at fucking Action Park.
Okay.
They were the Lola cars, that's what they call those, that kind of car. Tucker was part of the winning team in the 12 Hours of Sebring due to lack of competitors in the LMP2 class of the American Le Mans Series. Level 5 concentrated on the International Le Mans Cup rounds in Europe. Holy shit. Then they returned and won 3 end-of-season American Le Mans races. So he's kicking ass. He was, in a little history, he was second in 2008 in the Ferrari Challenge North America some shit. He's finished a bunch of number 1 finishes, American Le Mans Series, National Championship Runoff Series. What else we got here? The Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda. race.
It's all big stuff.
First. Lots of firsts.
And all the big company sponsored events.
Lots of firsts here. He enters total 146 races.
Holy shit.
47 wins.
Wow.
So that's winning a third of your race.
He's doing great.
That's obscene. Plus, you have 2 cars, so your odds are also better, and great drivers. 77 podiums, so I guess that would be like
top
showing.
Yep.
12 pole positions, 17 fastest laps, and he's got a 52.7% podium percentage.
How many pole positions?
17. He's 12 pole positions.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's so during testing,
yeah.
And then he comes out fastest, so
You're
he starts
fast.
the race in first.
12 times.
That's awesome.
That's not bad. So 2012, that's his total deal, but I'll get into this a little more detail. 2012, Tucker and Level 5 embarked on a full season campaign on the ALMS P2 category. Oh boy. With 2 new HPD ARX-03BS.
Sounds sick.
What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. He scored 8 class wins to claim the 2012 P2 championship.
He's a champion.
I feel like he's the only one he can afford more than everyone else, like better cars.
He bought a championship.
Yeah, he might as well just buy the trophies.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be easier?
Yeah.
Than doing all this shit?
Just make them.
Just make a giant trophy and be like, I'm a race car driver.
It's a lot cheaper.
It's the same thing. So Tucker and Level 5 teammate, this is bullshit. Chris Bullshit.
Yeah.
They were able to join the driver lineup of the German Colas team for the 2010 24 Hours of Le Mans, driving 2 diesel-powered Audi R10 TDIs.
Diesel-powered. Good Lord.
They failed to finish the race, though. Something happened with the car.
Well, they're diesels.
They're going to die. 2011, Tucker scored his first career Le Mans podium result, combining with drivers Christopher Bullshit and João Barbarossa. And I don't even know what the fuck these numbers mean. I'm not going to read this.
It's another car,
another race type. I don't even know what that is. He competed in LMP2 in 2012 and finished 14th. His team finished 13th during the 2013 24 Hours of Le Mans. So the SCCA here, Tucker was the national title holder in the D Sports Racing, driving, claiming the lap record at Road America with a lap time of 1 minute 58.997 seconds. So this was, he was driving a car owned by West Race Cars, which then he purchased. So he's like, I like your car. I'm going to buy your entire company. Wow. And so they built up this car. This is the car he was using there.
I can't wait to see this. Holy shit, that's cool.
It looks like the fucking Batmobile with an open top. It looks mean.
Unbelievable.
That thing is bitchin' looking, isn't it?
What is the paint job on? Is it just black? Wow.
Straight, shiny, glossy black. It's fucking mean looking, dude.
The fenders come all the way down?
Yeah, they come all the way to the ground. It's like a flat thing around the edges.
That's so weird.
And it's like an inch off the ground.
I want that.
That thing is mean looking.
Drive that over here to fucking make a show.
Couldn't get in the driveway. There's a lump.
It'll only take me 3 minutes to get here.
True. That's true to make up for it. So this is an article I found in a racing publication here. Parker here, or Tucker, I'm sorry, from Overland Park. That's why I mix those together. Grabbed his second title of the week on Saturday at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, winning D Sports Racing and becoming the first SCCA club racer to break the 2-minute lap time barrier in a race at Road America. Let's see, other people there. Tucker cruised to a 34.99 or 988 second win, averaging 118.308 miles per hour over the 13-lap, 52-mile race at Road America. 52 miles.
Yeah, in 52 miles, he pulled a 30-second win.
Holy shit.
That's a long lead.
It's only 13 laps, but 52 miles is a long lap.
It's a 3 mile lap?
52 miles.
4 mile lap.
Yeah, I guess so. 52 miles. That's a long lap, isn't it? How long are they normally? A mile?
A mile and a half. Yeah. Sometimes 2.
So, okay.
It's rarely that long. 4 miles. Fuck.
4 miles is a lot of laps. That's a lot.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm wrong. I think they're longer than a mile. They've got to be.
I guess they would have to be.
To go that fast in a circle like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That seems... I think Watkins Glen is long.
Maybe. I think these more roadie courses are different too. So,
in the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
Tucker was, they said, never seriously challenged. They just kicked ass there.
30-second lead, James. That's huge.
That's a big lead.
That's you win. Count to 30.
And
Second place.
Somebody else comes out. That's a long
win.
That's wild, man. He turned a lap of 1 minute 59 seconds, 59.991 seconds on lap 4 to become the first to break that mark in the race too. The 2 minute lap there. So he's even flying. He had a better in race lap than anyone had ever had in a qualifying.
Wow.
You know, when they're by themselves.
There's no cars out there.
So they said he'll be recognized by the Chicago Region that's hard to read. SCCA with a plaque hung in Road America office, as well as a charitable donation to the SCCA Foundation.
He did so well, they're going to put a plaque up at corporate.
They're going to put a plaque up of him.
Where he won't even be.
No, he'll never set foot there. Tucker eventually returned to the Hawk Hastest lap of the race. What the fuck is that? With another sub 2 minute lap and running 3 laps under the 2 minute barrier. Those fast laps earned Tucker the GoPro hero move of the race.
Wow.
So there you go.
It's the man of the match.
Oh, yeah. It's the 5th national championship for Tucker, who also won Super Touring title earlier that week. So he's doing fucking great. And let's hear what he has to say about it. How does he feel about doing great? What do you say? I think we need it in their own words. Although he's talked enough, but still. In their own words, quote, "That was a mission statement when we started this project. We've been working on it all year. I didn't realize what a big deal it was until we got here and we did it in qualifying. It's really our crew and team that really did it all underneath the hood work and did all of the development work to get the car where it is today. Today was really an experiment to see what we've developed and if it would last 13 laps in a very high-strung environment. So far, so good, but we'll have to tear it down and see where the issues are. It's such a great class where you have the opportunity to be somewhat unlimited."
Yeah.
Scott Tucker.
I'm great. I'm Scott Tucker. Look at me no further. Everybody else did this.
Yes.
If you're going to dig in deep and do a real investigation, look into them. Not me.
Not me.
I'm Scott Tucker. I did great.
I did great. And that said, Grace. Let's say Grace. Right now, he's got so much money, he doesn't know what to do with it.
He has to piss it away.
He has to piss it away on multiple race teams. He's actually doing well racing, winning races and shit. And
it's amazing.
Winning Rookies of the Year in his 40s. He's letting everyone else do it, I'm sure. But still, he's putting it together. That's got to be a grace here. So it's at this point where the government starts catching up to him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, April 2012, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, kind of a big deal. They can do bad things to you.
And Bernie, or is it Bernie? Was it Bernie? What was that guy's name? The guy in New York. They got caught by the SEC.
Bernie Madoff.
Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
That's our guy. Was that in like 2008?
10, 8, somewhere
it's around this.
It's around
enough to where they're starting to look at guys like that.
They want, and the payday loans are a big deal because certain states are cracking down on them. So the FTC files a civil suit against AMG Services and Scott Tucker and others, alleging that AMG engaged in illegal business tactics. Obviously, 2013. He claimed his fourth ALMS Drivers' Championship after scoring 8 class wins in 10 races.
Okay.
So in 2013, they're investigating him, but he's winning 8 out of 10 races.
It's unbelievable.
He's doing well. The United Sports Car Championship. Tucker won the 2014 Daytona 24 Hours in the GT Daytona class. It's a Ferrari 458 Italia GT he was driving.
Sweet Jesus.
Fuck, man, that's awesome.
It's like a $500,000 car.
That's,
without work done to it.
Yeah, and then like this,
and
with
then
all this
piles shit into it.
With Jeff Siegel, Townsend Bell, Bill Sweedler, and Alessandro Pierguididi.
Yeah.
That's what I like, Guididi. Despite the car having been initially handed a penalty for it was deemed late race avoidable contact. I guess he rubbed on somebody. Or the car did. Who knows who was driving.
Yeah.
They reversed the call more than 4 hours after the race, declaring the car the winner.
Wow.
So that he got it back. He argued his way into getting it back.
Or paid for it.
The Daytona win came on the 60th anniversary of Ferrari racing in America.
Wow.
So he takes the Ferrari there. The 24 Hours of Le Mans here that I'm looking at, they didn't do too well there. 2010, 11, and 12. They only finished once and finished third. The other times they didn't finish. But that's one of those races where I feel like if 50 cars start, you're probably ending with 20, you know?
The endurance of a vehicle is really tested.
For 24 hours of going as fast as it can.
Redlining.
That's crazy. So, May of 2014, a U.S. grand jury subpoenaed AMG Services as part of a criminal probe conducted by the Office of Manhattan U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara, reportedly looking at possible violations of statutes covering wire fraud, money laundering, and the big one, racketeering, which means RICO, which means you get fucking hammered on sentences for RICO if it's an organized, corrupt organization. So Blaine and Joel, his brothers, were also involved in this whole thing, and they face criminal charges as well for everything. So their mother must be very proud. Thrilled. Blaine Tucker, while this is going on, commits suicide. Yeah, he killed himself over this.
He's scared to death.
He heard this was... I mean, we don't know what else was going on in his life, obviously, but
this seems the biggest.
I assume this is part of it, probably. It's the same time it's going on, and it's got to be part of it, your life falling down around you. Joel Tucker received a $4 million civil penalty from the Federal Trade Commission for selling fake payday loan portfolios to debt collectors.
Oh, you asshole.
So debt collectors, they were selling them people who didn't know shit, but selling them the lists like they did owe something, and the debt collectors go and start
harassing these people.
Who don't owe anything to anybody. It's fucked up. As a matter of fact, we have an interesting story from one of these exact people.
Oh, no.
Who did that. Well, no, it's a good, happy ending.
Okay, good.
So Blaine commits suicide. January 2015, AMG Services and MNE Services, Inc. agreed to settle charges with the FTC by paying a $21 million fine, as well as waiving an additional $285 million in charges that were assessed but not collected.
You know who doesn't pay $21 million fines? People that don't.
People that do shit legally? Yeah, generally not. I've never had to pay one.
People that pay them generally did way worse.
And they settle for that.
Yes.
He agreed to that.
They probably should be paying a lot more.
That wasn't a judgment.
No.
That was, okay, I'll give you $21 million. That's a lot. So finally, February of 2016, Scott is arrested, finally, for all this shit. He is indicted and arrested for various criminal violations under the RICO Act. He is fucked.
Yeah.
RICO statutes for acts related to his involvement in a number of payday lending operations. That's not good.
No.
That's bad shit. You're going to jail for a while.
Especially for this shit.
Oh, yeah. This is money shit. You can't hide it. There's it's not a difference of opinion.
No.
We have a trail of paper that takes us back to you.
Right.
Spending it.
Right.
This guy gave it, and in the end, here's you smiling next to a Porsche. And we have a whole trail that had that happen.
We followed 3.4 billion George Washingtons.
Yes.
And we're at you.
We followed the map in the back of the placemat at Denny's to do this. So he's arrested and indicted for criminal charges filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. That's a familiar one that the country will be way more familiar with the next few months.
It's coming.
In relation to his ownership and controlling role in various payday lending operations that were found to have charged illegal interest rates in violation of the RICO and the TILA statutes, T-I-L-A. I'm unfamiliar with that. RICO I know very well, being a Petrogallo.
Right.
They teach you that young. When you're Italian, they teach you very young. They teach you that's a dog, cat, and then they teach you RICO.
Right.
It's a racketeering
the cow goes
influence.
moo.
Yeah. Racketeering influence corrupt organizations. They teach you that very young age.
The cow goes moo. Uncle Tommy was charged under the RICO Act.
Uncle Tommy was charged under the RICO Act. It's bullshit. They put Uncle Paulie in too, and he wasn't even involved just because he was a part of the whole thing. It's bullshit.
Rats like cheese. Do you know what a rat is?
So, in the media, rather than hide and fucking hang your head in shame, he's going out like, bullshit, I'm Mr. Good Guy still.
Wow.
He goes on as a guest on Dinner with Racers. It's a podcast where he portrayed himself an innocent target of overzealous federal prosecutors. They're just after me. This is bullshit. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's doing all this shit.
We were making podcasts when he did this.
We were, this was, when this was happening, we were already making this show.
Yeah.
Now, also, he participated in the Netflix Dirty Money series. He was in that. He participated in that, did interviews and shit in a cocky manner while under investigation for committing this shit. So,
what a dummy.
Not smart.
Yeah.
Here we go. Now, even though this isn't prison, we'll get to that later. We need to do a you, sir, may fuck off for this because we've had people get sued.
Yeah.
We've had somebody, he has to pay $1 million or $2 million.
Yeah.
September 2016, Jimmy.
Boy.
Federal judge ordered Tucker and the other defendants, very few of them, to pay a judgment of, we'll tell you what it's for first, for deceiving consumers across the country and illegally charging them an undisclosed and inflated fees. They fine him, you, sir, may fuck off and pay $1.266 billion.
Wow.
That's a fine.
Yeah.
1.2, not the business, Scott Tucker and the other people, $1.266 billion.
Holy shit.
Okay, take the 0.266 out.
Throw that away.
That's shitload of money.
$260 million.
So much money. If I said they fined him $260 million, you'd go, whoa.
Holy shit.
Take that out. Round down.
Yeah.
It's still $1 billion with a B.
That's a lot.
Billion.
He's in trouble.
That is so much money.
So he got fined?
Out of everybody we've ever done, that's the harshest penalty that we've ever seen handed down.
That's the biggest fine I've ever heard of.
We've had people hung on this show, hanged. This is a fucking...
I'd like to actually Google how much Boeing was fined when 2 planes went into the fucking ocean. I don't know that it was that much.
At the time, this was a record judgment.
Okay.
Record fucking setting judgment here. That is wild, man. That is wild. He still hasn't even been charged or sent to prison yet.
Right.
That's what he owes.
Oh, boy.
So... October 13th, 2017, he is convicted of 14 counts, including making illegal payday loans and racketeering.
Oh, boy.
Bad stuff. His organization ceased operation after he and his lawyer, Timothy Muir, his lawyer's indicted as well in this.
So you're telling me CLK is open?
Yeah, I think you can use it.
We should buy that.
We should buy it. Yeah, let's be douchebags. Wanna?
Let's just be CLK Entertainment.
AMG Entertainment. We should totally fucking do it. AMG CLK Entertainment.
Make these comedy clubs cut a check to that.
Dude, we should get like one with like 8 different ones and just make it AMG, CLK,
SLK,
BMW. Just name like a bunch of shit. WWE, fucking.
Last one, G-Wagon.
G-Wagon. Put it in there and be like, yeah, that's our company name. You got to write that. They won't cash it otherwise. Fuck, man. So they will end up being convicted on 14 counts of racketeering, wire fraud, money laundering, and the Truth in Lending Act violations. Not great. Now, here's what he did for RICO. Here's a description of his crimes. From at least 1997 until 2013, Tucker engaged in the business of making small, short-term, high-interest, unsecured loans, commonly referred to as payday loans, through the internet. There's probably some people who still are trying to figure out what the hell he's in trouble for. If they're listening to the show, Tucker's lending enterprise, which had up to 1,500 employees, this one did, holy shit, based in Overland Park, Kansas, did business as a Merrill Loan, cash advance, one-click cash, preferred one-click it is. I was like, one-click cash? Preferred cash loans, United Cash Loans, U.S. Fast Cash, 500 Fast Cash, Advantage Cash Services, and Star Cash Processing. Holy shit.
Tucker, and they were all on the internet?
On the internet. And
there had to be brick and mortar stores.
There was.
I feel like I've seen these.
Has to be. Yeah. Oh, yeah. With 1,500 employees, they can't all be working for
that's not all the internet
people, I wouldn't assume anywhere. Or maybe you need that many people.
There are shit piles of these.
Yeah.
I've seen Star Loan. I know I've seen that.
One of those was on Dunlap and 7th Avenue right there.
Yeah.
Cave Creek.
Oh, yeah.
There used to be one right fucking there.
I think it was a Star Loan.
I think it was I was just going to say.
I think it was.
I think it was a Star Loan, but there was one right there for years. And then all of a sudden, gone.
Disappeared.
Overnight, it was gone.
Yeah.
Because this is why. Literally, this is why. It was probably about 4 or 5 years ago when they shut all this down. So, let's see here. Yes, United Cash Loans, all those things. Tucker, working with Muir, his lawyer, the general counsel for Tucker's payday lending businesses since 2006, routinely charged interest rates of 600% or 700%, sometimes higher than 1,000%.
Wow.
Dude, that's crazy. These loans were issued to more than 4.5 million working people in all 50 states, including more than 250,000 people in New York, many of whom were struggling to pay basic living expenses.
Right.
Many of these loans were issued in states, including New York, with laws that expressly forbid lending at the exorbitant interest rates that Tucker charged. Evidence at trial established that Tucker and Muir were fully aware of the illegal nature of the loans charged and, in fact, prepared scripts to be used by call center employees to deal with complaints by customers that their loans were illegal.
Wow.
They knew what they were doing.
They had people coached on what to say.
What to say, how to blow them off, how to fucking push them aside. This is crazy. And this is a state-by-state thing. I don't know if there's federal over complete federal law on this, or if this just goes state by state. But
there's got to be now, right?
There are some states where it is wild fucking west.
They just let them do it.
They do whatever they want. You could probably name the states off the top of your head if you just said which states would let people do crazy illegal shit that fucks people.
Right.
Those ones.
Probably
the ones we're talking about. Right. Exactly, are the ones there. So, yes, that one. And
You're
that one,
free
too.
To do whatever you want there.
And this one also. Yes, that one, too. Free. Yes, those are the ones. Yeah. Free to be robbed blind as well. So they this is what happened here. So also fraudulent loan disclosures here. TILA is a federal statute. Oh, good, I get to find out what this is. Intended to ensure that credit terms are disclosed to customers in a clear and meaningful way.
Oh,
this is what you're signing up for.
Okay,
here's what you're paying.
I thought it was to keep dumb girls off the internet that get bottles thrown at them.
I think it is. Yeah, that would help. We need that.
Yeah,
we do need that. Both to protect customers against inaccurate and unfair credit practices and enable them to compare credit terms readily and knowledgeably. Fair enough. Among other things, TILA and its implementing regulations require lenders, including payday lenders like the Tucker payday lenders, to disclose accurately, clearly, and conspicuously before any credit is extended the finance charge, the annual percentage rate, and the total payments that reflect the legal obligation between the parties of the loan.
Right.
All it says is it needs to be in clear, plain fucking English what the person actually will owe you at the end.
Don't lie to these people.
Yeah, it can't be some bullshit. The Tucker payday lenders purported to inform prospective borrowers in clear and simple terms, as required by TILA, of the cost of the loan. For example, for a loan of $500, the TILA box provided that the finance charge, meaning the dollar amount the credit will cost you, would be $150. And that the total payments would be $650 total of payments. So that's all they're going to charge there. Thus, in substance, the TILA box stated that a $500 loan to the customer would cost $650 to repay. That's fair. That's fine to me. That's if you need a loan like that, and it's bullshit. It's a huge rate of interest. But if you need a loan like that, and you don't have any credit, you don't have any choice, I guess that's fair. That's better than street rates.
Right. And it's better than just telling people sign in the box.
Exactly. So
it's just lying.
It's something. But in substance, though, the TILA box stated that a $500 loan to the customer would cost $650 to repay, while the amounts set forth in the Tucker payday lender's TILA box varied accordingly to the terms of the particular customer loans. They reflected in substance that a borrower would pay $30 in interest for every $100 borrowed
per day,
which is a lot. In fact, though, through at least 2012, Tucker and Muir structured the repayment schedule of the loans such that on the borrower's payday, the Tucker payday lenders automatically withdrew the entire interest payment due on the loan, but left the principal balance untouched. So on the borrower's next payday, Tucker payday lenders could again automatically withdraw an amount equaling the entire interest payment due.
That is sick, man.
So every payday they hit you for another $150 and another $150.
That's why they call it a payday loan, because every payday you're getting robbed blind.
Yep, rather than taking what you owe. That's crazy. With Tucker and Muir's approval, the Tucker payday lenders proceeded automatically to withdraw such finance charges payday after payday, typically every 2 weeks, applying none of the money toward repayment of the principal until at least the fifth payday.
Unbelievable.
They're just robbing people for months. That's wild. That's fucking disgusting.
It should be illegal. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a dishonest robbery. When they began to withdraw an additional $50 per payday to apply to the principal balance of the loan, then they would just take $50 out to apply. So they'd take all the interest.
All up front.
And then minus $50. So the next week, they'd take all the interest and then, with what you had minus $50 and then another $50. So it's ridiculous. Wow. Even then, the Tucker payday lenders continued to assess and automatically withdraw the entire interest payments, not even prorated, calculated on the remaining principal balance until the entire principal amount was repaid.
Oh, boy.
Holy shit. Accordingly, Tucker and Muir well knew that the Tucker payday lender's TILA box materially understood the amount the loan would cost, including the total payments that would be taken from the borrower's bank account. Specifically, for a customer who borrowed $500, contrary to the TILA box's disclosure stating that the total payment by the borrower would be $650, in fact, and as Tucker and Muir well knew, the finance charge was $1,425 for a total payment of, that's not total, that's the finance charge, right, for a total payment of $1,925 by the borrower for $500 fucking dollars.
You're paying back $2,000,
dude. Serious. There has not been a loan shark.
Yeah. On $1,500 for, that's crazy.
On this earth at a fucking horse track with degenerate fucking gamblers.
And how can you be out in front of cameras smiling with your race car when you're doing that to people? You're a fucking scumbag.
That's how you're getting your race car. It's so gross.
I hope somebody beats the fuck out of him in jail.
I have a feeling someone is going to kick his ass in jail.
So.
I mean, how would you not? Although he'll be in a white collar.
Yeah, you're right.
Criminal fucking.
He wouldn't be in the jail where the people that he affected are at. You know what I mean? And
they would kill him.
Family and friends, they'll fucking hang that guy from his shoestrings.
Out of 4.5 million people, I guarantee
there's a couple in there.
There's someone in your cell block who them or their mother or somebody's been fucked over by a payday loan company.
You defrauded their family,
and they are going to.
They're going to take it out of
your
your
face
ass
for that. Yeah, they're going to.
Take you to the edge of the cliff and show you how good it feels to fly.
No shit. Now there's also the sham tribal ownership of the business.
Oh yeah.
Let's go into
what are they going to do?
Let's go to Chief Scott Tucker over here and see what he's been doing. Fuck. In response to complaints that Tucker payday lenders were extending abusive loans in violation of their usury laws, several states began to investigate the Tucker payday lenders. To thwart these actions, Tucker devised a scheme to claim that his lending businesses were protected by a sovereign community, a legal doctrine that, among other things, generally prevents states from enforcing laws against Native American tribes. Beginning in 2003, Tucker entered into agreements with several Native American tribes, including the Santee Sioux of of Nebraska, the Miami tribe of Oklahoma, and the Modoc tribe of Oklahoma. The purpose of these agreements was to cause the tribes to claim they owned and operated parts of Tucker's payday lending enterprise, so when the state sought to enforce laws prohibiting the loans, lending businesses would claim to be protected by sovereign immunity. Mm-hmm. In return, the tribe received payments from Tucker, typically 1% of the revenues from a portion of his lending bullshit. So who knows what he actually paid him. In order to create the illusion that the tribes owned and controlled the businesses, Tucker and Muir engaged in a series of lies and deceptions. Among other things, they did the following to do this. Muir and other counsel for Tucker prepared false factual declarations from tribal representatives. They just made up fucking papers that were submitted to the state courts, falsely claiming, among other things, the tribal corporations substantially owned, controlled, and managed the portions of Tucker's businesses targeted by the state. Tucker opened bank accounts to operate and receive the profits of the payday lending enterprise, which were nominally held by tribal-owned corporations, but which were, in fact, owned and controlled by Tucker. Tucker received over $380 million from these accounts on lavish personal expenses, some of which was spent on a fleet of Ferraris and Porsches, the expenses of a professional auto racing team, a private jet, a luxury home in Aspen, Colorado, and his personal taxes. He just spent all the money there. In order to deceive borrowers into believing they were dealing with Native American tribes, employees of Tucker's payday loans over the phone told borrowers using scripts directed and approved by Tucker and Muir that they were operating in Oklahoma and Nebraska, where the tribes were located, when in fact they were operating in corporate headquarters in Kansas. Liars. So these deceptions succeeded for a time, and several state courts dismissed enforcement actions against him. People actually sued him, and the judges dismissed it because it was sovereign.
Right.
It actually worked.
Oh, my God.
For a while. That's the fucked up part.
You can't sue me. I'm sovereign. I'm not driving my car. I'm transporting.
I'm traveling in my vehicle. Yeah, that's what they did. And they went, okay, sir. Here's
sovereign asshole.
Here's your fucking, Le
Mans car.
I was going to say your post brazen brand came in the box identification card. In reality, the tribes neither owned nor operated any of this shit. They just got payments for it. So this is how they generated $3.5 billion in revenue.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. In a 5-year period.
5 years.
That's 2008 to 2013.
Oh my God.
$3.5 billion. That's how you afford to be a race car driver.
I wish we could do that with podcasting.
Oh, can you imagine that?
We've done 5 years. I'd quit.
Oh, $3.5 billion? Oh, you would never hear from us again.
I'll only take one. You could have all the rest.
We love you, but $3.5 billion,
you'll never hearing from me.
No, never again. I don't need it. This is not for my ego.
I don't need a big island.
No. I'm not doing this for my ego.
No.
I'd like to pay my bills is what I'm doing. So.
I don't even care if Jeffrey Epstein used to live there. I'll buy it.
I'll buy it. It's a cool island. Fuck it. No, that's
kind of gross.
It's got teenage girl tears on that island. I don't want that island.
I'll burn it down and build again.
There you go. We salt the earth.
Yeah. I'll salt that island. I don't want growth there anyway.
No.
I want a 365-degree panoramic view of the ocean.
You know who else didn't want any vegetation on the old island? Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, James!
Hey! Sorry, couldn't help myself.
Oh, my God.
Couldn't help it, man. So, yeah. So that's how that works. That's how a Native American scam works, how you scam people. So... Jesus, that is wild. How many people? I can't fucking believe
How do you get away with that for so long?
It's wild, man. How do you fucking rob over 1% of the United States population? I can't think of another scam that took money from that many people. I can't.
It's probably because the people that would govern that and keep an eye on that are not people that would have anything to do with that payday loan because they're so well paid. They'll never see that.
Yeah.
They understand that payday loans are high interest and they're fucking people that don't have any money, but they don't care about people that don't have any money.
That's the thing. They don't care about us. No, they don't care about that at all. No.
The people that get fucked ritually and just over and over and over again constantly are the people that nobody gives a fuck about.
Oh,
anyway.
Absolutely, because they don't have anybody fighting for
Nobody fights for us because nobody cares about us.
But the rest of it is all whack-a-mole, too, because what you do is the government, regulators will see, because, I mean, people are constantly coming up with new scams and loopholes, so they have to, it's all reactionary.
Constantly chasing.
You can't make a law against something that you haven't thought of yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Someone comes up with it, and you're like, I never even fucking thought of that. Right. We got to make a law against that.
And I've never thought of it because it doesn't fucking affect me.
And it doesn't exist either. Right. Like in these certain, all of the financial 2008 shit when they were doing all the packaging, the loans, all the Big Short shit.
Right.
That shit, no one thought to say you can't do that because who the fuck would think to do that?
Right.
It's so complicated. Who would think, someone could do that and get away with something?
And the people doing it are going, this should be illegal. Don't say a fucking word.
Exactly. And that's what happens. Then when enough people do it, then they start going, hey, what the hell's going on here? And then
why are people losing their houses? We have to get to the bottom of this.
Exactly. That's kind of a thing here. So... yeah, it's just weird. So anyway, regulators...
And that was very similar, too, because the interest rates of the fucking mortgages were fucking insane. You couldn't afford it.
SC or HSBC or whatever the fucking
You just can't fucking afford it at all. And there's a reason that they did it like this.
Because they would do the adjustables that would then jump to,
absurd amounts.
Your interest rate went from, 1.8% to 46.3%. So your payment, literally, there's people that our usual mortgage payment was $900. Then one month they said we owed $6,000. It was like your new mortgage payment $6,000 a month. We were like, what the fuck?
I can't do that.
And then they take your house. It's fucking crazy. Unbelievable. And then they have a shitload of houses that they can't sell on. They sell at half
because the mortgages are still the same fucking thing, and nobody can afford that shit.
Exactly. So they end up finding him guilty on everything.
Good.
Fucking everything. I mean, it's all in the paperwork, so there isn't really a lot of opinion, like I said.
Hard to argue that.
It's hard to argue. Here's papers, and here's you robbed 4.5 million people. That's the biggest trip for me.
It shows here that you were charging $2,000 for a $500 loan due in a month.
Literally in 3 weeks. So guilty on everything. Now sentencing comes around. Okay. Scott wants leniency.
No, why?
Because he says he's just a nice guy.
Yeah.
And
I had no idea.
This is fucking funny. I don't want to say it. Never mind. I'm not going to say it. I
kind of want you to say it.
This sounds just like the assholes who rushed the fucking Capitol and then are going, we just got caught up in it.
I was just there. I don't know.
Guess what, motherfucker? I wasn't.
Yeah.
And neither was Jimmy, and neither was a million fucking 350 other fucking million people who weren't there.
Because I wasn't there.
Yeah. So it's just, it sounds like this. This sounds like people who don't consider themselves criminals because they consider themselves a certain class.
Right.
And so they consider themselves not criminals. So when they get busted for something, they're like, well, I mean, I'm not a bad guy. No, I'm not like black or anything. That's what they're fucking saying. So.
Everybody said we were patriots. Patriot doesn't sound anything like a criminal.
This is exactly what he says in business terms. Okay,
fucking idiots.
He wants leniency. He says that I employed over 10,000 people, and this is what his lawyer says. He employed over 10,000 people and offered a quote fast, simple, and reliable service. Oh my God. Okay, that took some. If I was the judge, I'd be like, double my sentence. You can thank your lawyer for that one.
I wanted to give you leniency.
He says here, boy, although I saw myself as being an entrepreneur, a job provider, and a contributor to the American economy, I've learned that others view me through a different lens. I'm very sorry that our leaders castigate me as a villain or some type of predator.
Oh, my God.
In other words, I'm not sorry.
Not at all.
That's what he said. I'm sorry our leaders call me a bad guy when really I'm a good guy who just provides job and contributes to the American economy. Fuck
You, honestly.
I hope they draw and quarter you with 4 Ferraris, you fucking twat.
That would be rad.
Fucking
They do have
asshole.
horses on the hoods.
That's why I said Ferraris. You should literally, or Mustangs, you could use that, but Ferraris would be appropriate for him because he had his own Ferraris.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful because fuck this guy.
Right.
Fuck him, and fuck him again.
Throw a Lamborghini in there. It's got a bull.
Yeah, there you go. We've talked about like guys who diddle girls and do all this shit, and we're fucking mad at them. And that's you ruined a person.
Right.
You ruined a person. Maybe their family. Maybe whatever.
Friends.
There's a lot of peripheral.
There's
a lot of This is 4.5 million people. How many people lost their fucking homes because of this?
Wow.
How many people couldn't feed their kids at night? How many people couldn't do all of this shit? And he stands up there and says, I'm very sorry that our leaders castigate me as a villain or some type of predator. I'm very sorry that our leaders didn't do what I wanted them to do, so I had to break their windows. That's exactly what the fuck that said. But I'm actually an American patriot. I'm sorry no one else can say blah, 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 blah. He said the same thing.
Unbelievable.
There's a certain person that is, and it's not a person of whatever, a genre. It's a brain mindset, a certain type of human being that, but I'm me. I don't understand what you mean. Yes, I know for other people, but you don't, no, but I'm me.
I'm a good person.
Don't you get my meanness? I'm me. I can do things that I want.
The entitlement.
Motherfucker. How entitled can you be to sit there and go, sorry, I didn't fucking, I'm fine though. I'm not a bad guy. Good. So the DA says this, quote, for more than 15 years, Scott Tucker and Timothy Muir made billions of dollars exploiting struggling everyday Americans through payday loans carrying interest rates as high as 1,000%. An acting deputy U.S. attorney for the Southern District Court said, and to hide their criminal scheme, they tried to claim their businesses were owned and operated by Native American tribes. But now Tucker and Muir's predatory business is closed, and they have been sentenced to significant time in prison for their deceptive business practices, or they will be, I'm sorry. By the way, if you think that's political, go fuck yourself, because I'm sorry, it's not. Being a cunt is being a cunt in any fucking direction you put it.
And so anywhere in life.
Just because a cunt lands on one side of the political spectrum doesn't mean I'm talking shit about politics. It means I'm talking shit about that cunt who happens to be over there with the rest of those cunts.
Anywhere in life.
Sorry to say the C word 8 times.
Anywhere in life where you're a cunt, there are consequences for being a cunt.
That's all I'm saying.
That's just the way it goes.
It's annoying. So, while we're at it, vaccinate your fucking kids. There. Throw it in there to piss more people off. So someone else gets their say in it, which is strange because he gets to have his thing, and the judge is going to talk, and the lawyer talks, the prosecutors, but the door opens, somebody else gets their say, and it's my grandma. Holy shit.
She wants a word.
She wants a word, and she says, Ma, how is it you come to arrive here? Ma, what the hell is wrong with you? Ma, you a nice boy, handsome. Ma, you have the money, your car, nice, shiny car. Ma, the women, they like you, I'm sure. Ma, why you do this to the poor people? Ma, why? Ma, you son of a bitch. Disgraziar, why you do it to the poor people, they need help from you. And what do you do? What do you do? You do terrible things.
You ruin people.
Ma, you son of a bitch. And then poof, but right before she hits him with a rolling pin, she disappears into a cloud of marinara sauce. And he's very confused, Scott Tucker. Doesn't know what happened.
Smells amaretto.
He's looking around, but what he does know is he wished Grandma was still there because instead of Grandma, it's a judge.
And he says...
It's a federal judge with lots of sentencing power.
Yeah.
And Judge Castell describes the crimes as, quote, a scheme to extract money from people in desperate circumstances that created heartbreak and sorrow, not just financial loss. You, sir, may fuck off 16 years and 8 months in prison. Go fuck yourself.
How old is he? He's in his 50s?
Yep, he's born in 60s? Yeah, he's in his 60s. He is fucked.
Oh boy.
enjoy it, motherfucker, because you deserve it, number one. And number two, I don't feel bad for you at all.
Not at all.
We've had people that have killed people that have got less time for that.
Sure.
And I'm okay with it because fuck this guy.
And he's going to.
I hate this man.
He's in now. And this man, if you've ever heard of payday loans being predatory, he's why.
He's the guy.
Nobody said anything about him until this happened.
This is the guy who made it predatory.
In the past 5 years, it has become a fucking punchline for broke people.
Yeah,
but
comedians
it's because of him.
A hacky premise.
Right.
A payday loan.
Payday loan.
You want to get a payday loan because that means you're poor.
Right.
It's just slang for you're poor.
Right.
So December 7th, 2017. This is an article from jalopnik.com. It's by someone named Alanis King, who turned me on to this other article by Bloomberg here. This is about a Rhode Island man named Andrew Therian, who had a loan collector approach him for money that he knew he didn't owe. And guess who that's from?
Oh, you bastard.
It's from selling those lists.
Passing those fucking folios.
Yep. Therian, this is a story here. It's from Bloomberg.com by a guy named Zeke Faux, like fake, like faux.
Oh, F-A-U-S?
Yeah, I assume that means it's not his name.
Maybe it's a homonym. What is the word?
Yeah, no.
What is the word that they go under? It's not homonym.
Never mind.
Pseudonym. Got it.
There you go. So Theron here was interrupted. He's on the phone. He's doing sales, and his wife calls him. She got a voicemail from a guy saying that Theron was in trouble. And it said, I need to verify an address to present you with your formal claim. And he said that Andrew Theron, you're officially notified. So a few minutes later, Andrew Theron's phone rang, and it was the same guy. He gave his name as Charles Wright and said Theron owed $700 on a payday loan. But Theron never took out a payday loan. Doesn't know anybody shit.
Yeah.
He thought it was a scam, so he thought Cartwright. He said, I know this is bullshit. I don't know anybody anything. Go to hell, basically. Yeah. So Theron says, he said, come by here, asshole, if you want to fucking talk to me. Because I guess the guy went back and forth. He goes, all right, if you got a fucking problem, you can come on. If you know where I am so much, you can come on down here and we'll fucking talk about it. So the guy says, I will, and I hope your wife is at home, and then threatens to rape her.
Oh, my.
So that's probably the farthest I've ever heard a debt collector go as far as I'm going to come to your home and rape your wife.
I am stunned.
That's what, the Hell's Angels would threaten.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what they would threaten.
Over $700 you're going to rape my wife? Jesus, man. Why do you take your job so serious?
That's right.
Calm
How seriously
down.
do you take your job? Relax.
How much do you make a month?
$700.
Over $700. Over a week's worth of pay?
I will rape your wife.
Fuck, man.
Jesus. And he's not used to being told to go fuck himself when he's calling people for money they don't even owe.
Isn't this a usual word that
I assume you go, yep, I figured that, and hang up and go to the next person.
He has been told no enough today.
Yeah, it's a lot.
He's ready to take it out on your wife.
Fuck, I would
try.
Wow. So this guy, Theron, got real angry, as you might imagine, as anybody would. So he said he was really pissed off, and he made a decision at that point to find out who this guy worked for and who the fuck he was, and he was going to make him pay.
Oh, boy.
At the same time,
he's about to get fired.
Yeah, at the same time,
minimum.
At the very minimum. Well, no, this is what they were fine with the other guy, with the debt collector. Their company loves him. That's
how they get the most money.
That's how they get their money. So he worked that call. He said maybe that call's not a scam. What if some loan shark? What if this is not a business? What if this is some loan shark who has the wrong guy and he's after me and he's going to come fucking kill me for nothing? So he didn't know what to do. So then he remembered that Cartwright, the guy who called him, quote unquote, left a number with his wife. So he called the number back. And anyway, he basically spent the next 2 years following that number all the way to try to find out
where it came from.
The end of the rainbow of assholes.
Yeah.
And the end of the rainbow of assholes led to Joel Tucker, which is Scott's brother. That's how he found out all of this shit. So Theron had been caught. This is a fraud known as phantom debt, where millions of people happens all the time. They sell these scamming companies will sell lists of debtors to debt collectors. These debtors don't actually owe money. These are companies scamming debt collectors to pay for money of debts that don't exist. So then these debt collectors call you to get the money that they paid for. They paid for your debt, and now you don't even know anything. So they're trying to make you pay because, according to their records, you owe them money, and they paid you already. They already paid to get that money.
And it's all because Tucker's a dick.
All because Tucker's a fucking asshole. John Tucker. Why is that? Oh, Joel Tucker. Joel Tucker. So Theron here, he's doing all of this. Apparently, this isn't new. There's a thing where they talk about inmates of New York's debtors prison joked about it back in 1800.
What?
In a newspaper they published called Forlorn Hope, they talked about this exact scheme that you do. It's 200 years old. It's like the oldest trick in the fucking book, basically.
Truly.
Yeah, it's selling someone the Brooklyn Bridge or selling someone some shit you don't own. That's all there is to it. And so they can make a profit on it. So, they scoop up troves of personal information that are available cheaply online, old loan applications, all sorts of shit, data from hacked accounts and stuff like that, and they reformat it to make it look like a list of debts.
Wow.
Then they make deals with debt collectors who will demand repayment of the fictitious bills. So everybody's getting fucked there. Their targets are poor, usually. If they made a payday loan, they're poor and likely to already be getting confused. They're already getting calls about it. Now they're getting more calls. But some people are convinced because the debt collectors seem to know so much about them based on all these documents that their debts are actually real and they pay them.
Wow.
Or they'll pay half of them or whatever. So
Tucker sells that information to them for a small fee, and then they go and try to collect the
money on it, which, for Tucker, it's just
free money.
It's free money. Yeah, it's totally free money. It's like in Goodfellas, like we just bring it in and bring it out the back and sell it at a profit. There's no fucking, that's how it works. So, he would, in 2012, a call center in India was busted for making, in 8 months, these are false bill collect calls, 8 million calls.
Oh my God.
In 8 months to collect made up bills that didn't exist. Wow. Just a company, they didn't even buy debtor lists. They just made their own and just called as many people as possible telling them they owed money.
Unreal.
And people just give you money because they think maybe I do owe money. They seem to know a lot about me.
Everybody listening, you owe us $1.
Fucking crazy. You owe us $1, everybody.
Just send us $1.
You know you owe. We lent you 10 cents. Do you remember that? Do you remember when you needed that 10 cents? Remember when you needed that dime? Who was there for you? It was Jimmy and James. That's right. We gave you that 10 cents. All right, fine. So it's a little much.
Steep.
It's a little steep, but you needed the dime, and we did provide it. So we feel like $1 recompense is really,
it's minimal.
It's minimal.
It's very nominal fee.
I feel like it's fair is what I'm getting at. So that'll be $1.
So when you sign into PayPal, just write our debt is now clear.
The debt is clear. You did borrow a dime. You know you borrowed a dime. You know you did. No, don't tell me you didn't because I know that you did. So that's it. Is your social security number 37?
And I think we took very good care of you.
I thought so. I thought you
treated you like family.
We did. I wouldn't give a dime to just anybody, but I gave it to you. So the FTC has broken up at least 13 similar scams since then. In most cases, regulators are not able to identify the original perpetrators because the data files have been sold and repackaged so many times they can't get to where they originally got sold from. This guy wasn't taking no for an answer, though, this Theron guy. And he said he was obsessed with payback. He spent hundreds of hours investigating this.
That's what happens when you tell a man you're going to rape his wife.
That's what I mean. Yeah. This isn't $700.
No.
They said, I'm going to come to your house and rape your wife. He said, oh, yeah?
Oh, well,
here you go, motherfucker.
You just gave me a new hobby, and it is finding you.
And hunting you like an animal.
Right.
So he's does marketing for ice cream brands, shit like that, this Theron guy. But in his spare time, he's living out what they say here. This is great from Bloomberg. He was living out a revenge fantasy. He befriended loan sharks and blackmailed crooked collectors, getting them to divulge their suppliers and then their suppliers above them.
Wow.
He was finding these guys and fucking paying them off to get information, which is brilliant.
Shit.
Brilliant. He's like a prosecutor flipping gangsters. That's what he's doing. He's just, he's flipping a guy going up the chain.
Fuck good humor, sir. Go work for the government.
This is, or the mafia, one of the three. On the phone, he was a bad motherfucker, I guess, here. He dialed the number Cartwright left. A woman answered and said she worked for Lakefront Processing Solutions in Buffalo. She'd never heard of Charles Cartwright and implied he must be some kind of freelancer or bounty hunter. Theron said, she said Theron could clear everything up by making a payment.
Fuck you, lady.
Her records indicated he owed money to a payday lender called Vista. Theron once took out a loan, but it wasn't from Vista. He'd been selling copiers at the time, and his boss stiffed him on a $20,000 commission, so he turned to an online lender to make a car payment. He said he paid the debt back promptly. He borrowed money from a family member to pay it back immediately. He was offended by the suggestion that he was a deadbeat, he said.
How dare you?
He says, I'm the person who believes in personal friggin' responsibility. I signed an agreement, and I fulfilled my obligation. I don't owe you shit. So on his laptop, he started digging. He found securities filing saying Vista had merged with a company called That Marketing Solution, Inc. After paying a few dollars online to do a people search, he got its president on the phone. Interesting. So he said, quote, you sold my personal information to a bunch of thugs, he said. He told the guy. He said, I want to know why, and I want to know what you're going to do about it. So within hours, the company provided a letter saying that Theron had never borrowed money from Vista.
Fantastic.
Once he got to that, armed with the proof that the debt was invalid, he turned back to Lakefront. More searches yielded a corporate parent owned by two Buffalo men. Theron called them. Then he called their lawyer. This guy's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
When the lawyer didn't do shit, Theron bombarded him with more calls, his home phone, his cell phone, enough to put Lakefront, enough to where they never called him back. He was now stalking them. And they were like, fucking stop calling that guy and block his number.
He said he's going to rape all of our wives.
Oh, he said all of us. I am like a 12-year-old boy. I'm just here to visit my dad. He says he's going to rape my wife. It was wild. I'm here on Take Your Son to School Day. Said he's going to rape my wife. It's crazy.
I don't want to put any of you in danger, but when I answered the phone, he said, do you want to know what it feels like to fly?
Yeah, so it's pretty wild. So they eventually reached a confidential settlement, and Lakefront declined to comment. So by the morning after the Cartwright call, he knew that he wasn't dealing with like a gangster or anything like that. No one showed up at the house. But he said, let's go further. So more agencies contacted him. Apparently, somebody sold his info. His wife, his brother, even his grandparents, they called.
Yeah.
So the calls made it clear to Theron that there's something here going on. So his name had to be getting on the list. So each night, after his wife went to sleep, he'd crack open his computer and go through lawsuits and get filings and owners of agencies calling him. He'd find the name, then he'd call them, oftentimes at home, scaring the shit out of them, and make it clear that he wasn't going away until they revealed who their debt supplier for portfolio was.
Yep.
Like, I will call you every fucking night. I'll call your grandparents. I will rape your wife. I will rape your grandma. Do you understand that? She's got it coming.
Yeah. Evening. What are you having for dinner? I'm going to have your wife.
Yeah. Fucking wild. And this is a horrible thing, but obviously
that's what you do.
Yeah,
you know what?
Yeah.
I have zero sympathy for
this guy's
people.
gone full Liam Neeson. Like, give me back my son. He's losing his fucking mind here.
Give me back my son.
That's what he's doing. That's what he is here. He said, quote, here's the deal. I don't really care about you. There's a million guys like you out there. You'll never get your money back. You might as well get blood out of it. Tell me what I need to know to put these guys in jail. Wow. He said, look, you're not getting your money, so at least give me info.
Yeah.
So sometimes he'd make a small payment on the fake debt, then check bank records just to see where it went. So he'd pay it just to see where it routed to. Who ended up getting it, so then he could follow it up like that. So it would be worth $10 to him to see where it went. Yep. He found people with convictions for counterfeiting, stock fraud, drug dealing, and child molestation, of course.
Wow.
He started a spreadsheet called Scums. .xlsx. Yeah, he's doing a fucking Excel sheet here, a Scums Excel sheet to keep track. This is great.
He is awesome.
On the weekend, he'd watch Patriots games and harangue them from the couch in a Boston accent, I'm sure, which is great.
I hope he has 3 daughters.
I'm going to rape your wife. I swear to God, I'm going to come down there. I'm going to rape your wife. Where's Grandma? I'm going to rape her. I'm telling you. You fucked up, buddy.
She's about to have a Sam Adams up her ass.
You fucked up wicked hot. I'm coming for you. I'm telling you.
So good.
What?
Tom Brady just lost his third straight. Guess who's going to pay? Your fucking mother.
It's your mother and your wife. So he said he used his persuasion techniques he learned selling copiers on the phone, and he said he was really good at this. One payday lender tells him that he simply doesn't know why he speaks with him so frequently, and that Theron was a bully. Yeah. This is some criminal.
Good.
So he would threaten to report the collectors to regulators unless they helped him figure out what was going on. He said, "You're either with me in this or you're against me." He wrote one man. One guy tried to shame him. He said, "If my intentions are right, I'll have God on my side." He said, "You may not love poor people, but he does." That's what he said. So he's trying to put God on him. The targets were, they didn't realize that he would be up their ass so much, really. Yeah. One shady debtor says he thought Theron was an undercover federal investigator because he'd gathered so much information on his business. So he thought he must have, records. He said, this is Theron. "It's an obsession. It's unbelievable. An outright vigilante crusade. It doesn't seem to," this is the other guy. "It doesn't seem to equal the harm that was done to him." You know what?
Listen, man.
Fuck you.
That's Boston.
4.5 million, motherfucker, too. Right. No, you fucked with the wrong guy.
He's doing it for everybody.
He's got nothing else going on.
He's got money, so he's doing fine.
He goes, right. I don't get up. I don't go to bed till 1 or 2.
Right.
I'm getting on the computer. Let's go, pal.
Those other 4.4 million people have jobs, and they have to occupy their time trying to pay back all this fucking money. This guy didn't need it.
Yeah, he's going for it.
Fuck with the wrong one, son.
This is amazing. He said that, he didn't tell his family and friends that he was doing this at night. This is just his thing. Not, it was like a hobby.
Yeah, and there's some shame involved, too. Yeah. They're like, his family would be like, they didn't even bother you.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to get him,
doesn't matter.
They're going to give me back my son. They took him.
This one's for Gronk.
It's for Gronk, I'm telling you. It's fucking ridiculous. So, Jesus Christ. He would get mad again, and he said that this was rage that he'd been struggling to suppress since childhood.
He's been angry his whole fucking life.
He said he grew up in Connecticut. His father was a factory worker. His mother had a series of part-time jobs, and he said they mistreated him and his brother. And he moved out when he was 16 after an incident he won't discuss. So,
hello, Mr. CEO. I hate my father.
I hate my father. He says that he regrets not doing more to protect his brother. His dad's dead, and his mother denies she did anything wrong. So he's softly pissed. He's like, "I'm working out my problems I have for a long time now, since I was a little kid.
And I'm going to use it calling on the phone."
Yeah. So he apparently got a job when he worked at J. Crew. Somebody was in there shopping and gave him a sales job because they thought he was a good salesman. Mm-hmm. And he said he makes a good living and everything else. He says he just wants to pay his bills on time. He likes going to church on Sunday and taking care of people that are close to him. He said, quote, "If it's just about me, I don't particularly give a fuck." See, this is what I love about Boston.
Yeah.
If somebody just says, "I just want to take my family to church," in the South, they'd never say that. Right. Whereas Boston, like, me, I don't give a fuck. I mean, who fucking cares, right? Hey, father, you don't give a fuck, right? Now, father says he doesn't give a fuck. He also called your mother a cunt. I don't know if that is.
And the difference is, if I order cannoli, chocolate chip, it doesn't show up, whatever, I'll eat the cannoli. Fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's still mascarpone. It's amazing. But if
so
everybody orders the fucking chocolate chip and everybody gets plain, I'll fucking throw a table through the window.
Throwing a table through the fucking window. Through the window, I'll tell you right now.
If it's just me, fuck me. But everybody, not fuck everybody.
Fuck everybody. He said, "If it's just about me," we got to make this guy a character.
He's great.
Just hunting you down.
I want to hang out with him.
And climbing through the window is Andrew Theron going, "How is it you came to arrive here, asshole?" Theron's,
who'd you steal from, motherfucker?
Andrew is definitely going to be a character.
He is fucking
He's going to be Liam Neeson with a Boston accent, and that's our guy there. Andrew, you are our guy.
Pats jersey and everything.
I'm coming with you. I'm coming I got my Willie McGinnis jersey on. Shows how long I've been a fan. My Teddy Bruschi.
Shows how long I've been pissed off.
I've been pissed off for a long time. So The whole quote is, quote, if it's just about me, I don't particularly give a fuck. You call my wife and you call my grandparents, you just opened the door that got really fucking ugly, and now I'm going to make sure that I just ruin your life.
That's Boston.
And then when I'm done, I'm going to go to church afterwards. I gotta take the kids. It's it's a sin.
Listen, I'll beat your ass.
I love this guy. That's why I love the East Coast right there.
He's so good.
This is why I'm leaving Arizona. So there's people like that.
He's great.
So as more people started to chill out, he just kept doing it. He eventually dropped his pursuit of Charles Cartwright. Figured that it's just somebody's alias. Yeah. All this, he's just following this alias. And he wanted to focus on their business, so he figured out how phantom debt works and how it's blended with real debts, and how that way it's impossible to tangle because you might owe $200, but then they just say you owe $500, and they'll tangle it all up there. This is how this works. You've heard us attempt to make sense of rugby,
right?
Now hear us try to decipher financial scams here. Yay! So, it's basically, from what I read here, too, Americans are currently late on more than $600 billion in bills in late. That's fucking wild.
Oh, my God.
1 in 10 people has a debt in a collector's hands.
1 in 10?
1 in 10.
Has somebody calling them saying you owe us money.
Somebody, yeah. They recoup what they can and sell the rest down market. So that, shittier and shittier debt, because debt that you haven't been able to collect, the longer it goes, the less you're likely you're going to be able to collect it. So the people that will buy that debt are shady motherfuckers that think, I can get it from them. I'll threaten to rape their wives. Yeah, that's what it is. So, they get the same shit. There's a lot of these companies have the same lists too, because they'll sell them. They aren't exactly upstanding people selling them the lists. So, they think it's fucking wild, man. So anyway, Theron needed, he ended up finding all sorts of people here. Some collectors told him they thought the files were partially legitimate. Others knew the paper was falsified, yet they continued trading it back and forth. So his search for the whole thing here, he ends up focusing on Buffalo. And he finds out that there's a lot of these places here because there's a lot of poor people in Buffalo. So that's one of those things. Debt collector debt collector's kind of a common job, but this isn't, you know what I mean? Doing this type of shit. So he wore down Buffalo debt collectors. One name kept coming up. They all kept saying the same name, Joel Tucker, who is Scott's brother. And, Theron needed an ally inside this whole thing. He found one in Frampton Rowland III, goes by Ted. He's an insurance broker turned predatory lender, and his company was listed as the original creditor for one of Theron's supposed loans. Mm-hmm. So Theron called. Rowland said he was sorry, and then he kept telling him shit. Mm-hmm. He said his life was falling apart. He's been sued by the FTC over his lending practices. He lost all his money, and his wife was leaving him. Mm-hmm. Theron was like, well, that sucks, whatever.
There's no way to rape here.
Yes, I mean, I guess, well, can you tell me where her forwarding address is? Because I'd like to go rape her if that's possible. If you could just give me a forwarding, I mean.
You might enjoy this, Frampton.
Yes.
I'm going to rape her.
It's awful. It's the worst episode we've ever done. We're so mad. I don't even care. We're off next week, so you can fucking, guess what? You have a week to fucking relax about it. Calm down.
Or a week to tweet us about it.
Yeah, because I have, we've done a lot here. So anyway, this guy said he sensed that this guy was a guy who was willing to talk because he was like
regretful,
has nothing to lose.
Right.
They started to speak. Finally, Rowland told Theron he blamed Tucker for everything. Tucker had created the local industry with his two brothers. The middle son, apparently Blaine, was a popular and talented musician, the one who killed himself. Mm-hmm. Joel was tall and handsome, and by the time he was 21, he was a bum. So that's what happened. Anyway, he ends up... Theron goes looking for Joel Tucker, and he couldn't find him. Joel was twice divorced, moved from place to place, ducking his creditors now, too. A booking photo from the time he was briefly imprisoned failed to show up for court, and an unrelated lawsuit shows him with, some gray hair. He's trying to find out who he is. He couldn't find a working phone number. He ended up reaching the 81-year-old mother of the Tuckers, the mother Tucker.
Yeah.
She claimed she didn't know where he was, and Theron called her Mother Tucker, and then, of course, obviously, threatened rape. That's what you do, clearly.
We're having violent sex in a minute, Miss Tucker.
Yeah, against your will. Theron's tactics grew more intense, mirroring those of debt collectors that he loathed. He basically was going around muscling these guys. And eventually he took his hypothesis of the whole thing. He said Tucker's business had given him an access to a huge database of people who'd applied for loans, including maybe the one Theron took out in his copier selling days. He said, what if Tucker was broke, needed money, and he takes applicants' personal information, invented loan balances, and sold it? So he was like, I think he just made it up.
Yep.
So he takes all this to the FBI and the FTC, and his emails were a little... a lot, but he ended up getting through to them. He said, quote, there are millions of people out there being threatened daily by these actions, and I'm doing my part to try to stop it, is what he wrote in the email. January 2016, a former employee of Tucker's agreed to arrange a call between him and Theron to clear the air.
Great.
So he finally got to the head of the snake here.
I found it.
Theron couldn't believe that the guy was willing to talk. He's like, that's fucking amazing. He said he set up a recording device in his office, put it on speaker, and he called him. Yeah. He said Tucker seemed hyper and defensive, telling Theory that if any of the portfolios he'd sold now contained phantom debt, they must have been doctored after leaving his hands. He said, quote, fucking shame on them, wasn't me. It had to have been them. So he blamed other people for it. Theron was, trying to be calm here. He said, quote, I'll tell you why I care. I'll tell you why I care. I believe, and I'm just telling you what I believe. You sold my personal information 21 separate times. I've gotten close to 100 fucking calls. And because I've gotten those 100 fucking calls from scumbag collectors that you facilitated, I'm going to make sure that this kind of shit ends now. And Tucker said, you think this is my fault? And Theron said, you got desperate because you spent $2 for every dollar you had.
Oh!
He's not fucking around. He said, so then Tucker said, what are you talking about? Are you trying to micromanage my life? You don't know jack shit about me. And he says, I know what happened. You fucking stole money from people. I'm giving you the opportunity to come clean. And Tucker said, I don't know who you are, Andrew. Who are you? And he said, I'm a person that you fucked with too many times. I'm the guy that's going to rape your wife. This is terrible.
That's a bad throw, Tom.
Tom, you're terrible. Never mind Tommy Terrific. He's Tommy Terrible. So he said, we need to get this stuff resolved because this is not healthy for anybody, is what he said on the tape. So they started talking and texting. He got this guy to text with him. He says, I think he has a mental illness that allows him to think he did nothing wrong. That's what Theron said.
Right.
It is. That's exactly what it is. He said he kept putting off interview requests. Tucker didn't respond. He wrote in one email, lies are not stories, and I won't participate in that story when they were asking Tucker.
Okay.
So he said the denials made him hate him even more, and it masked his feelings to keep the conversation going. He said that he soon obtained two crucial sets of documents. One in March of 2016, he flew to California to meet a debt broker who handed over some contracts that Tucker signed. So then he got an email from the manager of a collection agency whose conscience he spent weeks appealing to. In the email, they go back and forth. Finally, 2016 in May, Theron emailed his discoveries to the FTC. A lawyer replied right back and said, Andrew, we need to talk about this. So Theron gave his intel to private lawyers who were going after Tucker in Texas as well. So he was just helping all these lawsuits, people suing him and winning. That's Theron giving them information that they needed. Tucker told the court he was broke.
Yeah.
I'm broke. Meanwhile, this is a fucking disaster. Theron, he's still calling these people. He's still harassing anybody he could find. Tucker seemed to be pleading for mercy. He said, quote, this is when Theron is talking to him. He begged Theron to drop his vendetta. He said, I fucking had enough harm done. I've lost a brother, got a brother going to prison. Put it this way, Andrew. I'm tired, buddy. I'm fucking tired. And Theron said, I'm tired too because I'm still getting harassed by these motherfuckers.
If I hang up this phone, it's going to ring again.
It's going to ring again. So December 2017, the other Tucker, younger Tucker, brother Tucker. We got Mother Tucker, brother Tucker. He's indicted for filing this is Scott again. Yeah. Indicted for filing a false tax return.
Really?
Again, U.S. attorney in Kansas alleged he created a sham sale of his payday loan business to the Miami Indian tribe of Oklahoma for $120,000 while he controlled it. So now that's also, not only was he that a separate charge with that, now he's got a charge of tax fraud on that too.
That's not good.
No. It also says that he failed to report more than $117.5 million in income between 2009 and 2010. His accountant was also indicted.
Good.
Yes. 2018 in January, Kevin Castle, a judge for the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, said basically split the difference here. They asked for, this was the prison sentence. The prosecutors wanted 20. His lawyers wanted 15. He gave him 16.8.
Nice.
So kind of split the difference. February 2018, his cars are seized. All of his shit. He has all of this shit, and it's obviously going to be sold to pay back his debt of billions of dollars.
Right.
The forfeiture order seeks government possession of Tucker's bank accounts, several Porsche Ferrari automobiles, high-priced jewelry, 2 residential properties, one in Aspen, Colorado, the other in Leawood near the Hallbrook Country Club. Also, at this time, U.S. Bank has had a part in this. Right. They agree to pay $528 million for their part in this. Wow. 2 violations of the Bank Secrecy Act there by U.S. Bank National Association, which is a subsidiary of theirs. We don't need to go through what U.S. Bank did. 2018, Joel's indicted.
He's going to jail.
He gets indicted too. 15-count indictment here, pretty much the same as his brother. He's got pretty much the same shit going on here. He also has a $7.3 million fine against him as well here. So, September 2018, the Federal Trade Commission began issuing almost $1.2 million checks, totaling more than $505 million to the victims of Tucker's payday lending scheme.
Great.
So they got some money back, but that's
not billions
dollars on the,
right.
That's pennies on the dollar. Let's see here. You know what we should do? Yeah, the 1.3 million judge, when he really needed OU, sir, may fuck off, definitely. So he's fucked. He's fucked. I mean, he's as fucked as it gets, I think. He's got a lot of problems. He's got, I mean, I don't feel sorry for him at all.
He'll never have 2 nickels to rub together.
No, and if he does, I hope someone comes and takes them from him and pays back what he owes other people. I feel sorry for Theron and all those people.
Sure.
I mean, I really do. I feel sorry for Theron's wife, especially getting a rape threat against her.
Poor thing.
I mean, I feel sorry for all these people, really, Jimmy. But not nearly
there's so many.
As sorry as I feel for Scott Tucker Solutions in Chicago, Illinois, financial advisor, tax planning, wealth management.
I imagine trust that guy.
Poor guy. Trust. Yeah, it's not his fault.
We don't have any proof.
Scott Tucker, owner, Tucker Design Group in Scottsdale. Scott Tucker, professional real estate agent and real estate investor, Kansas City.
God damn
So this poor son of a bitch is from the same town, and he's got to have his fucking name on a sign. It's not his fault.
Right.
If you're looking for a house, call Scott Tucker. I doubt, don't take my word for it, but I doubt he'll steal billions of dollars from you.
Probably true.
Scott Tucker, packaging and containers professional in Goodyear. Scott Tucker, owner of Talent Fusion in Indianapolis. Scott Tucker, team leader at Fresh and Easy Neighborhood Markets.
Oh, no.
Right. And finally, Scott Tucker, detention sergeant at Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. So he's a prison guard, and he's in prison as well.
He's just on the wrong side of the prison. Other side of the prison.
Fuck yeah. December 2018, he appeals the $1.3 billion thing. Hey, that's a lot. Come on here.
That's too much.
Come on. And they tell him, nope, it's good. Fuck you. Perfect. We think it's perfect.
I think it's the right amount.
Matter of fact, you want to go for 2? Should we give him 2? June 2019, asset sale. He's selling they're selling 4,500 square foot Hallbrook Leawood estate filled with 3 floors of modern furnishings. Designer furniture pieces include B&B Italia, Layfer, blah, blah, blah. We'll go into exactly what it is. Seating. Laser Industries Calcutta Green Velvet Sectional, Walter Knoll Low Profile Pebbled Leather Adjustable Sectional with chaise and ottoman, Jonathan Adler Lampert Sectional Sofa, Coquette Drapes velvet canopy chair, pair of Milo Bauman for Thayer Cogman Share Green and Cowhigh cube chairs. Jesus fucking Christ. A lot of chairs. All sorts of shit. I'm not going to go through the whole house, but it's all
it's all
every
high-end
furniture.
shit.
Yeah. That's just the chairs, and then we got that's seating. Then there's furniture, dining room table, Lucite modern dining room table, the bed, Swedish king platform bed, silver leaf and black lacquer dresser. That is fucking gaudy.
Yeah.
Glass top cocktail table with walnut base. Miscellaneous. A variety of original large-scale signed artwork here. Whole bunch of shit. People I don't know because I don't know art. Art glass, Richard Genori, Blanc de Chine porcelain candelabra, signed Muhammad Ali photo from the Sonny Liston fight, selection of Toomey luggage, Weber Genesis special edition grill. They're selling his grill. Vitamix 520. What is that, a fucking mixer?
Taking his fucking shakes. Taking his health shakes.
Taking his bullet mixer. Oh, Jesus. All clad programmable slow cooker. They're taking the slow cooker. Steam generator, African feather juju hats. The fuck you got those for? Model jets. You already put them together. They're not worth anything. Harman Kardon AVR 335 receivers.
Harman Kardon. It's all fucking electronic.
Oh, okay.
That's nice stuff.
Yeah. Samsung 55-inch LED smart TV. LG 47-inch LCD. Two of those. Pirelli Ferrari Challenge trophies. Sennheiser wireless headphones. All sorts of shit there. Subwoofer, lamps, sign shit. All sorts of towels, pillows, rugs.
They're taking the towels.
What kind of a sick bitch takes the ice trays, man? They're taking everything. The bedspreads, the pillows.
Wow.
Exercise, all sorts of shit there. Stairmaster, they have like their own gym. Closet, men's and women designer closet. Toomey luggage, large selection of men's size 32 waist, 9 or 10 shoes. They're selling his fucking shoes. Cycling and workout gear from Lululemon and Pearl. Oh my God. Toomey luggage, women's clothes, Prada, Marc Jacobs.
Selling the women's Lululemon.
Selling Nike, all this shit.
Did he have a wife?
Yeah, Kim.
Wow. Oh, yeah, Kim.
Wife, Kim, yeah.
She's going to lose everything.
Oh, yeah, she did. Now
she lost her Lululemon.
She lost everything. Zuki Safari dyed fur jacket.
What?
I mean, ice metallic down feather-filled puffer jacket. It was, nothing. Wow.
Taking it all.
February 2020, auction time. 4 cars are being auctioned off here. A 2011 Ferrari 599 SA Aperta, a 2011 Ferrari 599 XX, a 2011 Porsche 911 GT2 RS. Those are sick. And a 2005 Porsche Carrera GT.
Yep.
And that's what they're selling here is the Carrera GT.
Fuck,
it's one of those different with the fucking
with the fucking
sick.
double bubble over the
and
engine.
Those are wild. Those are so fast.
It's so much money.
It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's ridiculous. So the cars in total auctioned a nabbed $3,785,000, which goes right to his victims.
Yeah.
It is $1.6 million for the Ferrari 599, the 599 SX. The SA Aperta was for $1,025,000. 2005 Carrera GT, $650,000. That's our 690, and the 911 GT2 RS went for $470,000. And that is, they're selling it back to everybody trying. That's it. Can't get enough?
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you this. His current net worth that I found, even if it's true or not, is $100,000, which I doubt he has that, and that'll make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy. Fuck Scott Tucker. Fuck him. Fuck his wife. Fuck them all. Fuck his brothers.
Bunch of scumbags, the whole lot of them.
Everybody. They robbed 4.5 million people.
Yeah.
That's insanity,
Mother
man.
Tucker knew, too.
Mother Tucker knew it was up. Maybe.
She had
Who knows? Who knows? She's a Mother Tucker.
They were taking care of her. You know that.
They had to have been, I would hope. My sons are doing great. I doubt they were like, hey, Mom, this is what we do, okay?
Right. They run businesses.
They're nice white-collar boys. So if you like that show, First of all, like I said, we're off next week, though. We'll be back the week after with a famous athlete and the Scummy Awards.
Right.
So if you like the show, please get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon. Tell us all about it. Give us 5 stars. It helps drive us up the charts, and it's free to you. So why not do it up? I just had to explain payday loans. I don't know what I'm talking about. So you can do that. Help us out there. Follow us on social media at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, please. Do all of that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. Merchandise is there for both shows. It's all there. And if you're not listening to both shows, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Listen to Crime and Sports. Listen to Small Town Murder. Listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie. We're bringing you good things to listen to. Check all of that out and become a producer.
Yes.
Even more important, become a producer. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. We got it cooking. Our last episode on Patreon was worst wrestling characters of all time.
Unbelievable.
Future episode, the Little League scam of Danny Almonte.
Can't wait.
And then you also get the Small Town Murder bonuses, where you get a bunch of Old West murders that I found that are just fun, crazy shit. And then that's the last episode we did. And then the next one is going to be a crazy guy in Oregon who just did some crazy shit. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's the way it was. So there you go. If that sounds good to you, crimeandsports@gmail.com, or that's our email address.
Right.
I'm sorry. Patreon.com/crimeandsports.
There you go.
And you can become a producer. Jimmy will mispronounce your name at the end of the show as well. And if you just want to have your name mispronounced at the end of the show and have good karma, that's also possible over at PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. See, I knew I had to say that one more time. Yeah. That said, everybody, I think it's time to hear
so deep.
The names of the people who, I mean, let's be honest here, they would never steal from over 4.5 million people ever, especially us. Jimmy, hit me with that list.
This week's executive producers are Ben Fairclough, Karen Elgin, Tracy Mitchell, Jordan Bennett, Liz Vasquez, Mandy Peterson, Devin Groh. These people, they're all just so sweet.
Unbelievable. Thank you.
Vanya Vinter, Melissa Turner, Joanne Ahern, Britton Edwards in Atlanta, Josh Denton's wife or girlfriend, Becca? I think it's his wife. Her name's Becca. She's having a birthday. And he says to pack your bags. You're going on a trip.
Oh!
Congratulations.
Where are they going?
You won the trip.
Did they win the Showcase Showdown?
They did.
Yay.
There's also Gareth Locke. He runs a small town murder group on Facebook. Thank you, Gareth.
Thank you.
And I think it's his birthday too. No, it's not. It is.
Well, then, no, happy birthday possibly to you. If not, save it. Put it in your pocket for when it is your birthday.
It's still a big deal to him. Cassandra Thompson and Michael Foran. I don't know. Thank you guys truly for everything you do. Other producers this week are Craig Ventura, Sarah Pixie De Leon, Sonny Johansson, Brendan Abels, Shannon in Colorado. That's my fucking cousin.
Hey,
Shannon, thank you very much. She's just grateful that everybody bought cookies from Lucy. The Girl Scout cookies were a big deal. Thank you guys.
Just eating trefoils from her yesterday. Thank you, Shannon.
You're helping send Lucy to New York. Thank you guys.
Yes.
Other producers continuing are Thomas Smith, Froggy Fred, Meg Megalogovich.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
You know her. Yeah. Eileen Merriman, David Korba, Charles, nope, that's Carl Kirshner. I put a fucking umlaut. How did I do an umlaut? That's not how his name is spelled.
I think you did it last week, too.
I did.
Corporal Kirshner,
Julie
that's an umlaut.
Julie Raminke. Cherie Bird, Melissa Allen in L.A. Thank you, Melissa. James Martyr, Elizabeth Columbus. I'm never going to do this right. Cindy Wilkin, Peyton Meadows, Kent Dorfman, Dustin Martin's wife Danny had a birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy
Maria
birthday.
Kipps Sousley, Charles Richardson, Mandy Peterson, Jessica Finch, Troy Moriarty, Ashley Vio, Zachary Bunea, Jason C. is looking for a pen pal, Shelley Roberts, Parker Bromet, Susie Sunshine, Ethan Moore, Derek Pearson, Randy Lofton, Brendan Bauer. God damn it. Tracy Lozada from the Dark Podcast, William Lee Noel, Corey fucking Espatia.
You're on a roll.
I was trying. Tommy Howard, Amber, you glow.
No, you glow, Jimmy. You.
I'm doing my best.
You glow, damn it.
I really am.
So does Amber.
Aaron Browning, Stephen Charles, Don Kelly. It was Amber. It was Amber.
I hope I got it right.
Don Kelly, Bella Lugenzi, Susan Judy, Lindsay Dat KP. What? That can't. Datco? I spelled that wrong for sure. And I typed that. Whatever that is, I typed it.
No excuses.
Matt Haas.
My damn chicken scratch off. Fuck. This is Roman Sands, whatever the shit.
Steve Jobs in your goddamn script. Ina Schuner, David Cox, Kristen Roberts, Kurt Ratima, Brandon Kackermeyer, Brandon Coleman also, Jazzy Danger, that's Bruce. Bruce Millis? No, that's Mills. Fucking Bruce Willis ruined my day.
Oh, thanks, Bruce Willis.
Robert Bouvier, the murderer's therapist. Cindy Banks, Janine Welch. Say again?
They said they all need one. So.
It's true. Janine Welch, Tracy with no last name, Sheila Evans, Cheyenne Ogden, Jay Kelly, Robert Cohen, Aileen D, Mike Maddox, Janice Lynn, Kristen Brawl, Madison Gilbert, Erica Simmons, Kate Mailman Allen, Dustin Mailman. Lewis, Steve Johnston, Lovely Ocean, Steve, what about Wallace Brown? Yep.
What about Wallace String?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
God damn it.
What about Wallace, String? Where Wallace at, String? Where Wallace at?
You happy about it, Steve? Bunker the Golf Dog, John Boland, Joan Hutton, Libby's uncle, Evan Grieg, Courtney Thompson, Jordan Vargas, that's Jason Bunting, Angel Bautista, Steve Rao, John Harris, Chrissy Coomber, Nathaniel Dalton, Mike Carpenter, Donna Pearson, Zach Holmes, I think it's Zach Holmes, Zach Holmes, Nate Sage, Amy Jewberger. Is that a J? That's an H. Huberger. God fucking damn it.
Jimmy.
How do you do it?
That's Bobby Jewberger over there. They make the best Jew burgers this side of the Mississippi, I'll tell you what.
It couldn't be funnier if I planned it. Like, that is embarrassing. Ryan Booth, Evie Tatum, Kat Simmons, Joseph Williams, Emily Kuber, Ryan Coughlin, Lee Pressman, Christopher Weber, Kyle Dombrowski, Nicholas Collins, Mickey Barrios, Kelly Preston, probably not. She's dead. Jean and Angie, right? Definitely not. Jean and Angie Vandercreek, Tia Imes, Nicole McKinley, that's Kevin Barnum, Caitlin Hawk, Shelby Busher, and somehow there's an umlaut there. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Umlaut?
I don't know.
How are you finding the umlaut button, Jimmy? I don't understand.
If you're struggling to find the umlaut, I can't help you because I have no fucking idea what I'm doing wrong or right. Either way.
You found it, though, Jimmy. That's the important thing. Is I don't know where you found it. I don't know what language. I don't know what German keyboard you got from Austria or some shit, but you have an
I don't know
umlaut.
what the fuck's happening. Light Me at 5. I think that's a podcast. Probably open mic podcast. I'm not sure. Zero Tolerance. That might be a podcast also. I have no fucking idea what these are. Megan Petty, that might be a podcast. Danielle Tebow, Kate with no last name. Timothy Lemon, Sunshine with no last name. Stephen Anderson, Matthew Stencil, Touchstone, William Routledge, Whitley with no last name. Presley Anderson, Ken McGarry, Dwight Bonner, Brandy Davis, Dominique White, and Marie with no last name. Angela Turlock, Jeffrey Gebler, Brad Gretzinger, Dwayne Hill, Casey Dreyer, Charles Chapman, Dianira, and Evangelio. I'm the most uncultured fuck. Charles Moore with no last... Wait, that is the last name.
Oh, good.
Porsche Bianca Shutt, Taylor White, Lindy Michelle, Peter Salvador Tranchita, that's Jolene Navin, Evan Pasco, and Unica Jackson, Victoria Berger, Hunter Atkins, Erica Kinder, RJ with no last name, Ken Gostelli, Shannon Callan, Brian Tyler, Candace Tay, Earl Knight, Amy Beery, Katie with no last name, Jacob Smith, Emily Youngblood, Greg with no last name, Victor Sanchez, Sarah Sunshine Short, Willie Williams, wow,
Willie?
Yes, wow. Beth Stagg, Jenna Gorge, Latoya Thomas, Jessica Smith, that was pretty easy, Lindsay Witter, Caleb Wirtz, Shauna Pittman, Ashley with no last name, Jennifer Sargent, Taylor Sinclair, Atlantis Talbot, Shiny Bayleaf.
In a while. So you're wrong.
Yeah, I know. It's been a minute. Shiny Bayleaf, Derek Eckerment. Oh, that's brutal. James Fessette, Aaron Esposito, Lizzie Marsh, Rachel with no last name, Alexandra Dolby, Drew Eckerment. What the fuck? Those are brothers. I'm sure of it, and that is hard. I am so sorry for your childhood. Patrick Thacker, Earl Knight, Mackenzie Ide, I think, Susan Moore, Neil Lane, Gina Mesky, Christian Westwood, Stephanie Bruno, Alicia with no last name, also Ryan with no last name, Sarah Elizabeth Hornberger, Bobby Porter, Cynthia Brittain, Ash with no last name, Katie Carey, Thaniel Peterson, Trista Williams, Nancy Klabnick, Tommy Johns, Pam with no last name, Max the London barrister, wig and all. What's a barrister? What is that?
It's a lawyer.
Am I stupid? Okay, there you go. All right, he wears a wig too. Good for you, Max.
Hello, the wig barrister man. You gave us money,
Tom
so I'm not
fucking
calling you a
West.
douchebag.
Yeah, he's a good man.
He's a great person. I don't know douchebag.
Ann and Mike Keating, Michael Keating, Patrick Cook, Aaron Cooper, Virginia with no last name, Chelsea Barker, Renee Gines, Todd Vilkov, that's it, Allison Jenkins, Dustin Webb, Connor Crawford, Jay Anderson, Doe Nutmaker, what the fuck, Margaret, yeah, but it's Doe, like
Homer,
like, yes, and then Nutmaker, is that like, I don't want to know what that is.
Do they jizz in dough, Jimmy? I'm disturbed by this.
Disgusting. Margaret Bobo Dancy, Dusty with no last name, Emma Butler, Mark Alexander, Alexandra Johnson, Jack Hoff, Anderson Aaron. What? Is that Aaron Anderson?
Hey, let me ask you this, though. Do you think it makes it rise fluffier? Is that why this is?
Jesus. If you whip it, it does get fluffier.
Is it like a meringue then? You know, you hold the bowl upside down over your head and make sure, or what?
Oh, I'm so grossed out.
It's a jizz meringue, everyone.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Try that for Christmas this year. Put that on a pie.
Everyone. Surprise.
I'm going to throw up.
This took me a lot of work. I have no idea. Okay.
Holy shit. Hours. Just fucking hours.
Days. I'm exhausted. Eat this fucking pie. I'm going to bed.
I've been slaving over this cock. I mean, stove up.
Both, really.
All right, Anderson Aaron or Aaron Anderson, Toby Ferguson, Rosalind Ryan, Elizabeth Flanagan, Brian Lund, Ellen. Nope, that's Glenn, not Ellen. Hillman, Bingo, Ling fucker. What? Oh. Super duper pooper. Good for you. Yes. Thomas with no last name, Avery with no last name, James McGoldrick, Blasphemous JP, Brandon Kennedy, Chelsea Bohm, Nicholas Montgomery, Chris Clark, Douglas Coates, Amy Wright, Clem Vaccaro, Georgia with no last name, Cronald. What? Cronald? Dankus? I can't. That can't be. I absolutely fucked that up. Lauren Hall that's her last name, Hall. Carrie Evans, Chris Bartley, Corey Cyphers, and Ashley Burlage, and also all of our patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, so much.
You're terrific.
Thank you for all that you do for us. It's it's appreciated and not forgotten and always thought of. So thank you so much for what you do, honestly.
And you created a happiness out of a hellscape. This year has been fucking miserable.
Yeah, but you guys have helped.
You made it so much easier to bear. So thank you.
Thank you a million times over. Jimmy, what if they wanted to thank you for anything you've done? Maybe you've helped their year get better.
Where I'm
you
at.
can find us.
They know where we are.
Copy and paste our shit.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know how to find us on the internet, and keep coming back, by the way. And sorry we're off next week, but it's still a long story. We'll let you know what's going on, but we'll be back the next week. Hitting hard, goddammit. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.